It'll have to do. That'll have to do, won't it?
After all that, we're just settling with that.
It's going to have to be, I'm afraid.
Okay.
I think.
Right. Are you ready now? Can we get going?
That'll do, won't it? Yeah. So yeah, I did bring it in just in case, but we'll get into this anyway. But...
Right, folks, welcome back to Brew Time. It's him again. How you doing?
Mate, thank you very much for having me. I've not seen you for yonks.
I know. I was just thinking to myself right now, but before I came on, I was thinking, when was the last time I saw Dickie? Not the last time, obviously, I saw. The last time I saw Dickie Vegas.
This one?
Yeah, this one. And I can't remember when it was. Because I wasn't at Wildbad last year.
No, I'm sure we must have seen each other since then.
I don't know, man.
I don't think we have, you know.
Jesus.
ABR Festival, definitely.
June. Is that June or July? June.
Wildbad's in July. June. It's got to have been June.
Must have been Wildbad.
Terrible. That's terrible. Oops. I even put some aftershave on for you.
Have you? It's very kind.
What do you think?
It's doing the job. It's doing the job.
Is it getting you going already?
Missed it, mate. I've missed it. Listen, I don't know. I know you saying you might be on water, but I need to get a beer down my neck.
Go for it.
Have you? What are you doing? Are you going to do water or are you going to do...
Well, I'll have water for now and then we'll see.
Slightly disappointed in them.
I'm disappointed in myself, to be honest.
Right, this might explode. Hang on. We're all good. Slange. Cheers to your
Cheers,
health.
my friend. Cheers. It's not like, don't worry, it's not like a new leaf I'm turning over or anything like that. It was just... you've got to be the same. You know, by the time you're coming off the back of Christmas, you're just like, oh, I feel fat. I feel like I've just had far too much turkey and booze. And I just thought I'm having some time off it. No intention of doing dry January or anything like that. I just thought I've just had enough now for a bit. So, and then I've kind of just not bothered. And and where are we now? End of Feb.
Yeah.
And I've not had really anything since New Year. So apart from two episodes, once when I first went up to the Outer Hebrides, the first restaurant.
How long did that take him to mention it? What's that? 10 minutes?
Oh, we're not talking. 10 minutes. We'll get into that in a bit. But no, I meant the drinking thing. The first restaurant, the first hotel. Sat down, thinking, I think I were up in Gretna. So got settled and everything. No intention whatsoever of having a drink. Sat down in the restaurant, chose, the waitress is there, chose what I were eating, and she said, what can I get you to drink? And I went, you don't really go to a restaurant and not have a drink, do you? So
8 bottles of Chateau Neuf de Pape and a bottle of rum, please.
I panicked and just ordered a drink, so. And then, and when I went to Greece with Chops doing the bloody Suzuki thing.
Yeah, rub it in. Yeah, thanks Suzuki again. Thanks Suzuki. Cheers. Thank you.
Chops was most definitely let loose.
Was he?
Mate, honestly, I've never seen him like
gossip
it.
Here.
Oh, you're brilliant.
We'll keep it amongst ourselves. Tell us what happened.
He was just on it. Like he'd been let loose. And he's like, well, are we having one? I'm like, well... And I was telling him the same story. I've not really had anything really since Christmas. Yeah, go on, and we can have one. And, I had this first drink. And he says, are we having another? I'm like... Where's this Chops come from?
He doesn't get out much, does he?
He was falling off chairs and all sorts by the end of the trip. It was brilliant, though. We had a cracking time. But anyway,
good. I'm glad. Shame
you weren't there. Apart from a cracking time, other than the freezing cold temperatures down in Greece.
It's following you about, mate.
What is that all about?
Mate, can we chat about this now? Your latest Scotland, your latest North series. I watched it all today. I've got to put my hand up. I have not had the time. I've been flat out editing like 7 days a week for about the last 5 months.
I'm exactly the same, mate. So I'll owe that to you straight away. I've not seen anything of yours for ages, or anybody's for that matter. I've just not had any time. You just don't, do you? As a creator, you really struggle to find yourself time to be able to enjoy, others. Other videos, so yeah.
But I sat today and watched all of it back to back,
thank you very
every
much.
Episode, mate. Jeez, do you know when I first saw you doing it? Part of me was like, because I was like, back in the day, I've done all that, but I just never bothered recording it. And I thought, I watched it. No, I've not ridden in that. Fair play.
Well,
fair play.
spoke to you, if you remember, when I just hit the Outer Hebrides, and I spoke to you then, and I was saying to you then, I'm crapping myself basically. I feel, I was as far away as I could get, and knowing I've got to come back through it all. I was kind of just on like mission mode. I've got to get this job done. I've got to get it done.
Yeah.
Even though everyone's messaging me saying you need to brace yourself and this, and this, and I was like, ooh, really? I just wanted to cry. But I just got on with it and tried to deal with it the best I could. But I've had tons and tons of messages, and the views have gone stupid. But it's just been all the way. I was just trying my best to get home. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I was genuinely crapping myself.
You can see that. I mean, that the last part when you're going, I think it's the last part when you're going over the Lech road.
Yep.
Where all the skiing is.
Episode 4. That's the worst.
Yeah, and you're trying to get to is it Braemar or Ballater you're trying to get to?
That's it.
But I've been over that road when they're skiing at the side, but they normally snowplow it all. So the road itself is okay. You might get black ice, but the road is generally okay. But that road was not okay.
You might get black ice.
Yeah, but that's all right. But when you were going through it, it was like deep snow. It looked like you hadn't even gritted it.
It was stupid. And do you know? And I didn't realise at the time, because it was just like I said, I was in mission mode.
Yeah.
During the edit, I realised all the way through, pretty much, even going up, I'd get to a bit that's really bad, and I'd doubt myself, and I'd stop and I'd go, it's not a good idea. This. We'll just have a look a bit further.
Yeah.
And that's what I kept doing, just getting myself into more trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lech road, that one really, I just thought, I've not seen any traffic. This is not good at all. I'll just have a look a bit further. And at one stage, coming down off it, because again, the GoPro doesn't really show perspective, and it's properly steep, as you know. One bit coming down the other side, it was just sliding. And I'm just trying my best to correct it the best I could without really braking or accelerating. And I just thought, please, no, don't. Because the other thing, like I said, this was going in my head all the time. Going, so you know what it's like if you drop your bike, they weigh a ton, you can lift them up, but it's not nice, is it?
No, it's hard. You
can lift them up. But how do you lift a bike up that's 250 kilos on snow and ice?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it?
Yeah,
I'd still be pushing it down the road now, wouldn't I, trying to get some kind of traction.
And you'll always get people going, well, you're doing it wrong. You want to be turn your back to it. You're like, yeah, very good. Yeah. You try it in this situation.
Yeah. I'm a grown man. I've got big boy pants. I can do it. Yeah,
it's funny because that bit on the left, I did all of that route. I've just finished the Scotland series now from the tour last year. So literally, I know exactly where you've just been because I've ridden it. I've just edited all the footage of it. And there's a bit where you go over a humpback bridge, and then you meet a chap in a 4x4 coming the other way, going, "If you're planning on going this way, don't. Go that way."
Yeah.
I remember that bridge and just thought, gee, if that is ice, you've had it, because it's a proper humpback old style bridge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And do you know, it was, because you can hear the ice crunching under the tyres. All that stretch was ice. And it was just, well, someone were looking after me, because I don't know how I did it.
Yeah.
And just to get home and think, I've made it back. That's it, I am done.
Well, that's enough blowing smoke up his arse, folks. If you've not watched that series yet, make sure you do, his latest one. And if you haven't watched the one before, when he goes to bloody Shetland, watch that. Is this going to be an annual thing then, obviously? Because you went last year in the north and you've gone north again this year.
This is the third time I've done Scotland now. But yeah, next time I think I'm going to go south. But I will do a January solo tour every year, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this year's, because of the forecast, I was so close to postponing, and I just thought, I'll just go south. I'll go to Portugal, have a run around Portugal, and scout out a new tour down there. Mm-hmm. And then I just thought, no, I'll still do it. I'll go for it.
I like it. I like it.
The first flurries of snow on the second episode. And it's like still very wet, but just flurries of snow. I'm like,
fast forward a day.
What happened in the episode 4? Christ. Oh man, yeah,
That
stupid.
foot deep, wasn't it? When you came out to your bike in the morning and everything had frozen, like all the controls had frozen. I remember seeing that on Instagram on your gram and thinking, Jesus, that's his trip done then. And then, like, it seemed like an hour later, you're posting going, back on the road.
That's it. That, genuinely, it was as well. I came out and, best will in the world, I did not want to put me biking stuff on. But I'm just thinking to myself, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Again, knowing it's not all right, but just trying to fool myself into thinking it is. It's only 7 miles to the port and there's nothing up in Stornoway, Harris and Lewis. There's no snow up there, apparently. So, tried to get all my boxes and everything on and I just couldn't get them on. It was just iced up. Just wouldn't go on. So I thought, maybe this is a sign. Someone's telling me, don't do it. And the host of the place I was staying at, they came out and they were like, listen, you can stay here as long as you want. And this is forecast like this until Friday, which is like almost another week away,
Jeez.
And I'm just thinking, this is terrible. But, I started to let it sink in and I thought, I'm armed with the DSLR, the drone. I'll just go for a walk for a few days and I'll get some amazing pictures. Okay, fair enough. That'll be great. So that was it. I thought, okay, I'd drawn a line under it. And I thought, actually, yeah, I feel quite, the stress had gone because I thought there's no more risk. Yeah, no more risk. And then I think I'd taken my cases and everything back in. And I said to the couple who own the place, I'm just going to nip out and make a video basically to say, I'm defeated. I can't go any further. And that was completely genuine. But whilst I was doing that, they were on the phone to the harbour master, which is, again, it's only 7 miles away, just to see what the roads are like. And anyway, I went back in, all settled, thinking there's a recording studio on site. I'm just going to sit there it'll be brilliant. I'll have a right good time. And she said, the harbour master said the roads are all right, the main roads. So then I just thought, it's back on. And the roads are bloody terrible. The roads to the ferry were terrible. So, yeah, I should have stayed there. But anyway, it's all done and dusted now. So I'm very glad that I did it because I wouldn't have had all these nice photos that I took. So,
But yeah, it's all on film as well. You've caught it all beautifully and on video. So it's there forevermore. Folks, make sure you check that out. Right, dude, we have a shed load of questions to get through.
Let's go for the questions then, shall we?
There's loads on every platform, Patreon, Instagram, and Facebook. So
that's fantastic.
I think we better start wading our way through this and just see what happens.
Let's do it.
Okay, folks, thanks very much to everybody that's left questions. We'll start with the clan over on Patreon, patreon.com/TeapotOne. First one, the Missenden Flyer. How you doing, Andy? I've got a question for Dickie. How much does he think a second-hand bike trailer is worth? More than nothing. Just asking, what's this? Is he trying to get a trailer off you, or are you trying to get a trailer off him? What's this all about?
Andy, it's worth a kiss and a cuddle. And these kisses and cuddles are valuable.
You're going to go into this? You're laughing.
Basically, long story short, I've had a Transit Custom for 4 or 5 years. I've wanted a truck because I'm a country boy. I'm a whiskey drinking country boy. I'm a redneck, and I wanted a truck for ages. But 2 reasons why I've never had one is there's nowhere near enough room. I can't get bikes in the back of a truck. As it turns out, you can. But anyway, and I can't get my piano in the back of the truck, for the band.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so it's game over. I can't have one. So again, against everything, I went to the Ford dealership. I'm like, I sat down with a bloke and I said, I really love the Wild Track, but it's going to be no good for me. It's absolutely the wrong vehicle for me. I need a van. The truck's not big enough. Where do I sign? And he's like, he's going, what? Anyway, we had a chat about it all and everything. And anyway, so he says, have you thought about the Storm Track, which is a special edition of the Wild Track? So I didn't even know that existed. Tell me about it, kind of thing. So show me some pictures, and it's basically a fancy version of the Wild Track. So it's got electric roller shutters, and it's black window. It's just mega. It's lovely. Anyway, so I said, sign me up. So basically, I bought a brand new truck and waved my van goodbye.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, well, the piano's not going to fit in that. So then I had to buy a new piano that's smaller, which is I've actually wanted a Nord stage piano for years.
Yeah.
I've just never bothered, and then I just thought, well, now I'm forced to buy one. So I bought a Nord stage piano, which basically the piano that I normally use on stage is full 8-octave, and it weighs 45 kilos, and it kills me every single time I carry it in. This new one is 5-octave, and it's 9 kilos.
Gee
So it's brilliant. It's like you can just carry it on your back. So it's just
a fifth of the weight, Dickie. A fifth,
mate. Crazy.
Maths degree.
Yeah. But anyway, so I got a new piano. Then realised I need a trailer for towing bikes. So then I put a post out on Instagram because I'd never looked into bike trailers before. I'd borrowed one to transfer my AT back to my mate's garage to have some stuff done on it, and it was it was an old big clunky trailer, and I thought, I've still not gelled with the truck, by the way, because it's amazing, it's lovely, but I'm used to a big van, and I've got like a third of the capacity now, and I'm struggling to find its place. Its strengths. So I borrowed this trailer and it was just clunky, and I just thought there's got to be a bike version. So I started looking into bike trailers. Noticed you can get like foldable ones, so they don't take any space up in your garage. Ones that drop down at the back so you can ride up onto them. I thought, brilliant. So I put a post out, and a load of people came in and said, you need to try this one, try this one, try this one. And then Andy had said he'd got one. Have a look on my video. I had a look on his video, and anyway, fast forward the story. I went off to Greece to do the Suzuki thing. I came as soon as I landed. Andy messaged to say, "Hey mate, I've just realised I don't want my trailer anymore. I don't need it." And I was down at Heathrow, and he's like, you're just down the road from me. So if you want to call at mine on the way up, take it and see if you like it. And if you like it, then have it. Not for free, but he said, have it. And anyway, so I got home and
he's minted. You can have it for free.
Tried it a couple of times, and it's old. It's got TMF stickers all over it, so it's a bit it's a bit soiled.
Yeah.
But I texted him and I said, actually, it feels quite nice to tote. So yeah, I'll have it. How much do you want for it? And he said, well, this is typical Andy. I said, how much do you want for it? He said, well, you just have a think how much you think it's worth as a second-hand trailer, and then just get back to me. And I haven't got back to him. I'm hoping
that's how much is one.
So, Andy, to answer your question, like I said, a kiss and a cuddle, pal.
He'll be on his way up right now.
yeah, it will. Yeah, I want it back.
I've always wanted a truck. I've always wanted the Wild Track, the Ford Ranger, always. Yep. And I even managed to talk my wife around. And I was like, yes, going to get a truck. Once we got married and we got a house, it's like, yes, going to get a truck. And then she started sowing seeds of doubt in my head. She was like, it's really not going to be that practical, because you're not going to be able to, like, we're planning on getting the dog. Well, we're going to get a couple of dogs at a time. And she's like, where would the dogs go? Because she's like, they're not sitting in the cab, so they'd have to go, on the back. And she said, and then they're just out in the elements. And I was like, we'll get a cover over the top. We'll get the cab over the back. It just wasn't going to work. So we've got a Skoda Zodiac or something now. Ooh,
you can see it.
That's nice. I like
it's
that.
Lovely. Well, exactly what you just said there. Your Nicky had said, well, the dog's not going in the cab. Because it's a stunning truck. Like, it's all leather and, it's half leather, half Alcantara. It's just stunning inside. And I do not want to be putting things in there that don't belong in there, So then I'm trying to get things in the back that don't fit, because there's no bloody space. So anyway, but it's a nice truck, but
it looks good.
I've not found its practicality yet. I'm sure it'll tow a house down, but even if it'll pull a house down, but we'll see.
Right, next one. Cheers for that one, Andy. Next one, Yorkshire Biker. Big fan of Richy V. Obviously not as much as you, though, Bruce. Obviously, thanks. How does he manage balancing home and bike life when going away on trips? I struggle justifying to myself going out for the day on my bike and leaving the missus, kids.
Yeah.
Go on in, balancing home life.
Two things there. I'm sure you'll get this all the time as well, Bruce. When we're creating and producing videos, that turn up on YouTube magically, we're at home. You know, we go off and do a very short trip, and then we're back at home and we're creating this thingy that you all watch. But while you're watching it, we're at home, so we're not really away anywhere near as much as it looks.
Yeah.
And second part of that is it's business. So, you know, whilst we're going away creating these trips, we're earning money. So, you know, as little as it might be, it's still business. You know, so that's the other. That's the other
job.
thing. You know, it's not as if you're going off on a jolly, is it? It really isn't.
No, not at all.
When people say that, oh, you're off on a holiday again. No, I'm going off seeing nice things, but it's not a bloody holiday. You know,
it is tiring, isn't it? You can't. People don't appreciate it until you're in that situation where you're leading a group of people and you're going away. It is tiring. It's mentally really tiring. At the end of a tour, I am fucked. Like, you know, when you go to Spain and stuff and you get the ferry back, on the ferry there, I'm at the bar with everybody. I'm on it, last one to the bed. And then all through the week, you're up all night, aren't you? Like making sure everyone's having a good time and socialising, drinking, and every night, entertaining. Yeah. By the time it comes to the ferry coming home, I'm just like, I'll have a beer with you at the bar, and then I'm going to my bed, and I'll see you when we get to the UK. I'm done.
It's not very often that I'll shandy away from a drink, you know, especially when we're away. But exactly what you just said.
Obviously.
We'll see. But the last couple of times in Spain, and again, you're just knackered, aren't you? So you know, I'll have a few, but then a few of the lads will stay out and have more than a few, and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to go back because I've got work to do, you know. But it don't, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, it's so hard, it's hard work. You know, we're very fortunate to be able to do it, but it's not as easy as a lot of people seem to think. You know, I think they just think we're having this big, you know, romantic trip away, and it's just fantastic.
I was just trying to think when you were speaking. I think the last time I was away and I did the around the UK by electric ride at the end of August.
Oh, mate!
And then I haven't done anything other than, like, even out on my bike, other than November. I did 3 days down at Toro. So I did, you know, a day either side and a day and a bit at Toro. So it was 4 days effectively I was away. And then I did a week over in the Canaries, taking a group of lads over to Canary Moto. That's all I've done since end of August. You know, the rest of the time it's literally been almost 7 days a week in here editing, and I'm still way behind with everything.
Me too. Do you know, I'm sure you do this as well, Bruce. You know when you're really knee deep into an edit, and again you like shoehorned into your office, aren't you? And like, shut the door and you stay there and you're like all day long. How many times, and be honest, have you got to, like, you know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon and thought, shit, I've not even had a wash yet?
Every day. It's disgusting, right? I'm in this routine now. This is horrible, and I appreciate this is disgusting.
It's true.
But I wake up every morning about 7. I'm very fortunate. My wife brings me a coffee in bed at 7 o'clock because she's up early with her day job, but she works from home. So she's up, makes me a coffee at 7, brings it, and I sit there and I'm on my phone justifying that I'm working, answering comments and doing the socials and emails and that. And the next thing, it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I'm like, oh, better get out of bed. And then I go and I have my row now because I've started rowing again. So I row, and then I have to walk the dog and get the paper for next door. So then come back, and by the time I've had my breakfast, it's normally about 11 o'clock by the time I'm actually sat at my desk. And then I'll sit and I'll edit till if I'm walking the pooch, it'll be like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll take the dog for another walk. Otherwise, it's 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then I'll go down, make dinner or have dinner. Then I'll sit downstairs till about 8. Then I'm back upstairs and I'll work from 8 till 11, 8 till 1, 8 till 3, depending on how much work I've got to do.
Yeah, and how far your teeth are stuck into the edit as well.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the time just goes, just disappears.
Yeah, normally by like Wednesday, I'm like, shit, I've got to get this video out for Patreon by Thursday. It's got to be on YouTube by Friday, and so that's when I start doing like all-nighters and working to the small hours by then. Yeah. But the whole point of me going through all that was because the amount of times I'll be like 2 or 3 days, and I think to myself, you haven't washed. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm just sat in my just my muck that I've been in for like 2 days, 3 days, and you're like, that is disgusting, right? Go and have a shower, sort your life out.
Yeah, mate,
it's like
I'm
time
exactly
just flies by, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'll be sitting. Obviously, we've got Georgia, so in the morning we'll take Georgia. I'll take her to school mainly, so I'll get straight back into the office and I'm on it. You know, I close the curtains so I can just be zoned in. I'm on it. You know, and then I'm exactly the same. So where I think, oh, she'll be coming home from school in 10 minutes. I better like smarten myself up a bit, you know, for me daughter, so she don't think, Dad, what's going on?
You turn up school to pick him up and you're wearing the same stuff you wore like 3 days ago.
Exactly, yeah. And then the second she goes to bed, I'm back at it again, you know, and like you said there, you can be at it till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, no problem at all. You know, if you can stay awake, and you're into a good edit, you'll just fly through it. And you look at the bottom of your computer screen and you see it says like 11:13 evening, you know, and then the next time you look at it, 1:27. You're like, oh Jesus! And then you're like, I've just got to get this bit done. And before you realise it, you know, sun's coming up. I've done that before as well, which is terrible. Last night I made the mistake of I don't know if you get a chance to watch anything on telly. I've forced myself to start watching like series now, just to try and have a bit of a break from editing. I'm knee deep into Yellowstone.
Not seen it.
Oh, mate, it's amazing. And then the spin-offs from that. I found another one last night with Bryan Cranston called Your Honor. I don't know if you've seen that. You know, Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Oh.
It's amazing. And last night I watched about 6 episodes. So 2:15 this morning, I'm like, turn it off. Shall I just watch another? No. So I've been knackered all day.
I just don't. I don't see how you lads, like you and Andy and Chops and that. I mean, you edit so much quicker than me, and I just don't. I don't know how you do it.
Really?
Because I've looked at my editing quite in depth to try and speed it up a little bit, and I just don't see how I could speed up how I do it. And talking to you guys, I edit the same way you lot do, but you just seem to edit so much quicker than me. It takes me days. You know, like a quick edit is probably 3 days, and then for a tour series episode, I'm probably looking at for a good 4 or 5 long days to get one of them out. But you guys just seem to get it done so much quicker.
For me, in this Hebrides trip, for instance, because I was on my own, you know, I've got no other riders to edit in and things like that. Or I flew through that edit, flew through it. You know, got each project set up, synced, and then you know, roll my sleeves up, had a bit of a stretch, and then the storyline unfolds, and then you know which way they're going, and just completely on a roll. But I'd probably say each one of those took me, I don't know, 2 days. And that's quite good for me, actually, because normally I'm the same, 4 days, 5 days sometimes, especially if you've got other riders. Because, again, syncing other people's footage and, things like that just take time, don't they? And then messing about with everybody else's audio and cleaning it all up so it's all nice and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it can, it's a bit like today, I've been editing a Toro video from last February.
Wow.
So I've already knocked one out. About...
Hey! Thought you were looking a bit flushed.
Knocked that one about 5 weeks ago, and then started another one this morning. And it's so intricate because there's about 5 of us, and it's just like a really, some edits are really quick. You can crack on. This one, I've spent all day on it today, and I'm probably only 5 minutes into the actual edit. Into the film, and I've been on it all day, So some just take ages to get right, and others just fly. But my only problem out at the moment is my computer. I had it built in 2012 for editing, and it's been an absolute powerhouse, rock solid. It's just been brilliant. But now it's getting tired. Obviously, 2012 is a long time in terms of tech and computers.
Gotcha. And
these episodes for the Outer Hebrides, so they're about 45 minutes each. They were taking 18 hours to render. And you know yourself, once you've rendered, you've got to watch it to make sure there's no mistakes. And then you find a mistake.
Yeah.
So you got to re-edit that little bit and then re-render it, which is another 18 hours. It's like,
see, I don't watch it. Once it's rendered, I don't watch it because I've watched it probably 30, 40, 50 times before I've rendered it. You know, like before I render.
You render it,
yeah,
do you watch it through before you render?
Oh, loads of times. Like that's probably that is probably the single thing that delays my edit because I will do a bit of editing and then I'll watch the vid to see how it flows and just see how the music's making me feel and you know just what sort of vibe am I getting as it goes because like music has a huge I think music has a huge impact on the vids, doesn't it?
Yes,
on how you feel and how you feel then has an impact on the pacing, on like how the pacing should be.
The music definitely is important as a visual.
Oh, totally.
The music definitely is important as a visual, definitely.
Yeah.
And choosing the wrong piece can ruin the video completely, can't it?
Yeah, I'll take a day just picking music.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, there's times when I've chosen a piece. And then working with it, chopping it so it's in time and, transitions. And then, get to the end of it. And I just think, it's wrong. It's wrong piece. So I have to delete the music, undo all the chops, and then start again.
Yeah.
But some I do some myself. I've got the piano in the studio and stuff. So some I'll do my own. One of the Hebrides, the intro to one of the Hebrides ones, can't remember what it was now, but I was watching it, the drone's flying over this massive gorge, and I'm like, I could feel something, but I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
So I just did it myself. Just sat there and laid it myself on piano. So, yeah, it's handy being able to do that, I suppose. But
I hate you. I wish. I don't even have that level of creativity to know what music it is that I want. But like you said, I know, but I don't know. If someone said, okay, well, what sort of piece do you want? Are you looking for a funk? Are you looking for like a driving rock? And I'm like, I haven't got a clue. Got no idea.
Just 1 second, Bruce. Are you going to bed? Yeah. Just come say hi. Say hi to Bruce as well.
Hello, is that Georgia? Hi, how are you? Good. Santa. How you doing? You all right? Good.
Yeah.
Good son. Love you, baby.
Love you.
See you in the morning.
Bye.
Night. Ta-da. Sorry to interrupt, folks. I will be quick. It is sponsor shout-out time. We are sponsored, as always, by Ultimate Add-ons. Bit of a blurb to read out for them. Ultimate Add-ons are the premium manufacturer of mobile phone and action camera mounting solutions for motorcycles, with a kit for any bike and a proven track record of creating products that keep your devices safe, secure, and easily accessible. The Ultimate Add-ons product range is ideal for any rider, from the commuter to the round-the-world adventurer. Why shell out on an expensive GPS system when you could use your smartphone, keeping it charged and within easy reach to take photos of your travels at the same time? Ultimate Add-ons waterproof, shockproof and dustproof tough cases are available for all flagship smartphone models and are designed by riders for riders. Find out why Ride Magazine gives Ultimate Add-ons their coveted Best Buy certification. Keep riding this winter with Ultimate Add-ons. It's all about the journey. Now, folks, if you head to ultimateaddons.com and use the code TeapotOne10, you'll get 10% off. I've got an affiliate link for them as well, which I'll leave down below. So if you listen to the podcast, check out the show notes. If you're watching the vid, have a look at the vid description. And obviously with the affiliate, I also make a slight commission off that. Costs you nothing more. So a massive thanks to Ultimate Add-ons. We are also sponsored by, as always, the Influencer Store. Influencer Store handle all my merch. You can see up there, I've got loads of hats, there's hoodies, there's all sorts of things. So if you head to TeapotOne.com, head to the shop, you can check out all the merchandise, and that is all handled by the folks over at the Influencer Store. The Influencer Store helps you build your brand, big or small, providing you with a solution and apparel. We help you to increase your fan base while supporting you with starting your own influencer clothing line with nothing more than just an idea or design, and there are no hidden costs. For more info, come check us out at theinfluencerstore.co.uk or drop us an email at online@influencerstore.co.uk for more information. Again, there'll be links down below, folks. Lastly, a big shout out to all of you over in the clan, over on Patreon. As always, folks, I keep saying this, but it is true. I literally could not do this full time without your support over there. So a huge, heartfelt thank you from me. If you'd like to go that extra mile and help support both the podcast and the main TeapotOne vid channel, then head to patreon.com/TeapotOne. Again, links down below. A massive thanks to each and every one of you who's listening or watching the podcast. I love doing the podcast. I really do. And I love getting all the feedback from you, from all the various different guests that we've had. If you could be so kind, on whatever platform it is that you're listening or watching the podcast, if you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify in particular, you can rate the podcast on there. Obviously, a 5-star rating goes a long way to help boost the podcast up through the ranks. And if you're watching the video, just give it a like, give it a comment, and both video and audio, if you share that with everyone that you think might be interested, that would be a massive help. All right, folks, let's get back to it.
Got a bit of a late one tonight. She's normally in bed for 7.
Oh, is she? Blimey.
Yeah.
Are we going to keep her up? If we're
No, cool. No.
We're good.
We're in George's playroom. This is not the living room with these lovely colours. Yeah, so no, she it's cool.
Cool. Right. We better draw a line over that because we could sit and talk for hours. Let's move on to the next one. Cheers for that question, Yorkshire Biker. Next one, Paul Jacques.
Wait, was that question number 2?
That was number 2. Yeah.
Yeah, let's crack on.
Honestly, there's about 100 questions.
Wow. Let's try and limit the answers then. Let's go for it. Come on.
Never going to happen. Paul Jacques. His current Hebrides excursion was a hoot. My question, did he feel the Honda's DCT was a help or a hindrance in those conditions? DCT.
Yeah, I don't think it made any difference, to be honest. It was just a matter of just taking everything as steady as possible. And I think that would have been just as easy to do on a manual. You know, it's just... You'd stay in one particular gear, I guess, and just take it really steady. But I had no issues at all. There was one slip that's caused by me. There was a guy right up my backside. This is after, was it after Braemar or before? I can't remember. Before, coming down off the other side, and this van's right up my backside. And I'm thinking, if I go over, there's not a chance in hell that he's going to be able to stop.
Is that on film? I remember you saying something about that.
Yeah. No, it's on film. Yeah, and I'm trying to like flash to wave him by.
Yeah,
and I'm tucking myself right into the edge, trying to wave him by, and I'm like thinking he's getting far too close for comfort here. And I took my hand off to really let him to wave him by, and my bike like dropped into a bit of a thing. And honestly, that split second, I thought, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done. Yeah, and luckily I managed to just managed to keep it upright, and he went off, and I genuinely had to pull up to just like have a minute with myself.
Yeah.
But anyway, the DCT is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I don't know if it helped or it made any difference, to be honest.
So I remember when I had the big Africa Twin, is it Adventure they call it? Adventure Sport.
Adventure Sport,
one. Yeah, like the GSA version of the Africa Twin, and that had DCT on it. And I just remember I was down in Devon or Cornwall on some of the real, like almost alpine switchbacks they've got, got real tight hairpins there. And I had it in the manual mode, and I think I had it in second. And I remember like just getting to the point where I was going to put the power on to come around the hairpin, and just as I put the power on, it dropped to first, even though I was in manual. But I think I've been told that there's been like a software update that now gives you full manual control. Like the bike will not try and button.
Yeah, same as mine. If you're in manual, you're in manual. That's it.
Right.
But I guess if you're in manual and you're in second gear and you slow too slow, then it will have to go into first. Otherwise,
it would stall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, for me, it wasn't slow enough to go into first, but the bike obviously thought it is.
Yeah.
So, and I just remember, because I remember I nearly dropped it, because the fact it dropped in the first, it was right at that sort of balancy point, and it was like, oh shit, off we go.
I think it's one of those, I'll sing from the rooftops about DCT. I think it's absolutely brilliant. But again, you've got to get used to it, haven't you? Were you just on a loaner bike there for that then? Or
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was just a 2-week loaner.
Yeah, so, you've got to settle in with it a bit. And like Picos, for instance, I'll lock that completely in manual. When you're playing, completely in manual, and it's a rocket. It's just brilliant. Every gear, there's no hesitation. There's nothing. It's bang straight there each time, just on your paddle there. And then when you want to chill out a bit, just drop it back in sport mode, auto, and just let it do its thing. It's far from like slouchy, like it still behaves like a manual, but it does the gears rather than you do. But yeah, I love it. I love it. But again, you've got to. I always say to people, if you're going to try one, do yourself a favor, because first impressions always last. So do yourself a favor when you get on it, you flick it into gear, press it again to drop it straight into sport mode. Because if you ride it in drive,
it's boring, isn't it? It's horrible.
Terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
So it puts you in like sixth before you've pulled away, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just like, keep it in sport and you're good to go. And there's obviously 3 different settings within your sport mode as well. So, and that's like, how long it holds the gear. So if you had it in sport 3, it'll really ring out the gears all the time. So it'll really, really sporty. And then the next notch up from that is just manual. Yeah. DCT's mega.
Right.
So
okay,
to answer that, I don't think it hindered or helped. I think it was just a matter of, I was only riding at like 20 mile an hour. I couldn't ride any faster than that, So there were a couple of times when I thought, when it looks really deep, and I thought, I'm just going to have to gun it just to see. So, if I give it a fistful and it goes well, then we're perhaps all right. But if it just lights the traction up straight away, then we're not all right. Calm back down again, So, but that's what I was doing all the time. So I was so fried, because at every moment I was expecting it to go over. So, and you constantly have to read the road and read what's beneath your tyres. And it was just like,
stay at home.
That's why on the way up there, I thought, if I get to that cottage, fantastic cottage, lovely open fire, lovely stove, I thought, I don't even care if I don't even ride. I'm just going to get to the cottage. I'm going to stay there in my pants for 3 days, enjoying that.
3 days of peace.
Yeah. That's how fried I was. But anyway, I still managed a little bit of a ride. But
right, cheers for that one, Paul. Next one. Ollie Rye. Morning H. It's morning each, Ollie. He didn't. Have you heard of that? Morning each.
I hear you say that. I hear you say that, but I don't know where it came from.
I think morning each. I think it was an expression used by a comedian way back in the day, and I worked at Renault UK before I joined the old Bill, just delivering cars. Like the people standing there with the trade plates and thumbing lifts up and down the motorways and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're doing. They basically. But with Renault, what used to happen is you turn up at a warehouse in the morning, you get given a brand new car or van and then told, right, you got to get that somewhere in the country. And then there's like a return van or car to pick up, like company cars and stuff, you're just delivering a new one, taking the old one away. So we didn't really have to hitchhike or anything. But it was they were all old retired guys that were there, retired military, retired emergency services, whatever. And I just remember one of the guys there, that's what he used to say all the time, morning each. And it just stuck. It's just stuck in my head. So I say it all the time now. But Ollie thinks it's morning H. So, morning H.
Who's that? Holly?
Yeah, Holly. That's Holly saying that. He says, firstly, just want to say, Rich, your Hebrides trip was incredible. Oh, whatever. Everyone's going on about Hebrides. Do you feel if Gaz or someone from your team had gone up with you, do you think you would have risked more of the back roads, knowing someone was around in the case of what ifs? That's a good point, actually. You were by yourself. Question. Did that hold you back, or did that sort of free you up a bit?
Normally, in normal situations like Shetland, for instance, me being on my own, and this is what I want to do every year, a January thing where I am on my own. It's fantastic, but without doubt, that particular trip should have had another rider just for safety. Because again, had it gone over, you know what it's like on the left, and in those conditions, there's no traffic. So I could have gone over. It was all these what ifs. I could have gone over, been unable to lift it. I could have hurt myself. No signal, no traffic, no help. I could have still been sat up there now. So that was in my mind all the time. And had I had another rider, then you kind of you've got each other, haven't you, to help. Shout, let's see if we can get up this road. If if one of us fall, fair enough. We're here to help each other. We can turn it around and we can sort it out together. But just on my own, I just thought I just can't do it because I could die essentially. So.
I love all that myself. I love that. I love the fact that you just went for it. I think that's brilliant because there's not many people out there that would, and I like that. Like I said before, I'm not a sheep. I don't want to be a sheep, and I like to make my own blaze my own way, so to speak. And I love the fact you went for that. And I'd also, in my head, I'd also be thinking if there were two of you, you're doubling up the risk. I suppose, that one of you is going to have a spill.
Yeah. If the first person goes, there's nothing to stop the back person, sliding into you, or
and then you're both gone down, and
and you probably, to be honest, you probably would. I pushed that way too far. That's on my own, for my own comfort. During the edit, I'm just like, what an idiot! Why would I? When I pulled up there, and I said to myself, I don't know about this. I think I might have to look for a different way. Why didn't I listen to myself and go a different way? It's because I was just like, but the photos up there will be incredible. Yeah. Let me just go up there, Yeah. But I think, had there been another person, you'd have pushed the boundaries even further, which, again, like you said, could have ended up in, you're increasing the risk, definitely. So it should have had another rider, but perhaps good that it was just me because, could have been worse.
Yeah.
When you're egging each other on, come on, we can do that.
Oh man, I wonder what would have happened if we'd both gone on that.
I know.
Shall we go up Ben Nevis? Do you think you can get bikes up Ben Nevis?
Just for a photo.
Yeah, imagine a photo, Dickie. Come on. Second question to you both. If you punched yourself in the face and it hurt, are you weak or strong? I think you're just stupid.
Yes. I concur with that answer.
Yeah.
Oh, Ollie.
I'm very disappointed in you, Ollie. Go and have a hard with yourself. Mark Paskin, where is the furthest away from home that you've been recognised from your YouTube channel? Good question.
Cool. It is a good question. Yeah, this it's brilliant when this happens, and I absolutely love it. And it just makes you realise how important YouTube is to people. It's a massive, massive platform. Again, being in the on the Orkney Islands, Shetland Islands, up there in the Orkney, so not Orkney, Stornoway. As soon as I arrived in Stornoway, a guy's there with some Stornoway black pudding. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But the furthest, I don't know. I can't really think. It just seems to happen all the time, which is fantastic. So it's kind of normal. It is a bit weird when it happens and you're not doing anything biking.
Like you're just out with your missus or something.
Yeah.
Or you just don't, yeah.
Because that's a bit like, oh, because you don't expect it to happen. But if it's anything to do with bikes, or if someone knows you go into a certain place, then maybe they'll be on the lookout anyway. But, it is very cool. And I love it when people say hello and, stop to say hello. I love it.
I was at the theatre with the missus. I think we'd gone to see Hamilton, and it was not long after lockdown had all buggered off and we were back to normal again. And we'd watched the whole show, and you're all just sort of filtering to come out of the theatre and into the main foyer area. And a guy came over and he was like, "Teapot, you TeapotOne?" And my wife was just like, "Oh God, can't get away from this."
Actually, that I've just remembered another one that was very similar. Me and my mate went to a concert in. You've heard of Rock City in Nottingham?
Yeah.
It's like
my wife used to go there all the time back in the day. Yeah.
It's a legendary venue. It's dirty, scruffy place, but it's a legendary venue, and it's a major venue for bands on the circuit. So me and my mate had gone to see a band there, and queuing up, someone recognised me, and again, it was like, oh, really, really cool. It didn't end so well because
I owed him money.
I hope the meeting with this guy was nice. Yeah, hi pal, nice to meet you. Thanks for saying hello. Blah blah blah. I just hope he didn't see me at the end, because during the gig, obviously we'd had one or two. Me and my mate had had one or two too many of those, and we got kicked out. Refused re-entry.
Brilliant. Were you giving it? Do you know who I am?
We'll not get into that. Someone just recognised me in the queue. What are you on about? No. Actually, what we did, we were on the balcony, and a genuine mistake. We'd gone through a door to try and find a toilet. Again, we'd had too many bourbons. To try and find a toilet, what we'd gone through is a fire exit. Oops. Which is obviously, shut door, done. So we're like, oh shit, we've gone out. We shouldn't even be here. Went right the way back round, spoke to the bouncers and said, we've just come out of this bloody wrong door. No, lads, you're not coming back in. No, we've got tickets.
Yeah.
In our heads, we were going, no, mate, we've got tickets. We just went out the wrong door. That's exactly what we must have been doing. He's like, no, lads, you're not coming back in. So we were upset, put it that way.
I'm trying to think, like, I can win it because I've had it in Australia, but that wasn't really because of the YouTube. That was just on the world trip. So, yeah. I mean, it was through YouTube and social media, but it was because of the trip. So I think...
Yeah, but how amazing is that?
Crazy. How amazing nuts. Yeah, crazy. Now, bearing in mind, that's 10 years ago as well. So it's
that's awesome.
It's not... Social media wasn't like it is now. It was still early sort of days back then. But I'm trying to think now, since the channel's been sort of established, I think Morocco's probably the furthest away. I remember being in Ouarzazate in Morocco, which is about sort of halfway down in the middle, and we were in a hotel for the night, and a lady just came up to a whole table of lads, and this lady just came up and she was like, are you Coffee, Mr. Coffee or something? And I was like, I thought she was like a waitress or something, and I was like, no, I'm fine, thank you, I'm fine. We're all good. And one of the guys, one of the guys was like, she's asking, are you TeapotOne? And I was like, and she went, oh yes, TeapotOne. And I was like, yeah, sorry, that is me. She said, oh, excellent. My husband is a big fan. He watches your channel, but he's too embarrassed to come up. And she was like, could you come to our table and say hello? So I was like, yeah, of course. Turns out they're a Swiss couple. And I think they were Swiss. But yeah, I've gone through there and, met them and chatted away with them. So that was weird in the middle of bloody Morocco to have that. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool though, isn't it, when people come up and...
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it, yeah. And it's not like... it's just nice that people want to say hello to you. I really like that. Yeah. It's not weird. I think it's really nice, And the other thing is, again, making you realise how important YouTube is and to other people. So, if someone sits at home and chooses to spend their time watching you all the time, and then all of a sudden they see you on holiday, it's going to make their day to come and say, to be able to say hello to you. And I think that's brilliant. I'd probably be scared to death to do it if it were me doing it to someone else. I'd be like, hello, can I?
I am. With people like, I still can't go up to John McGuinness and say hello. Like I've been at Brands Hatch with I think it was Bennett's. I was there doing like a track day with remember when Luke used to work at Bennett's and then he moved to B-Moto and moved on now. But he invited me along to Brands for a track day and McGuinness was there. John McGuinness was there. And he was literally like, stood there next to Luke, and I'm chatting away to Luke. But could I bring myself to even turn around and go, "Hi, John. Hello, Mr. McGuinness." Couldn't do it. I just like, I can't do that. I can't do it.
You feel like you need to bow. Feel like you need to bow or something.
I felt like a giggling little schoolgirl that's seen the first crush, And I was like, I would love to chat to John, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it is. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, though. Brilliant.
Right, cheers for that one, Mark. Next one, Average Bikers in a Cave. How are we doing, gents? You all right? Yeah, Rich, we love the channel. Cinematography is beautiful. We have two questions from the cave. Question one, you're quite an emotional soul. Has there ever been a point on a trip where you've had a right good cry in the helmet and never filmed it in or included it in the final edit?
Well, that's a great question, and thank you for noticing. Yeah, I just wear my heart on my sleeve, and
yeah,
like I think I said on a video not so long ago, it's a weird thing to say, but I'm blessed with the ability to let things affect me. Some blokes are just like,
yeah,
but I'm not. If it moves me, whether it's a photo, a song, anything, I can let it move me. And yeah, several times I don't think I've ever had a point where I've broke down and not put it out. I've never put one out where I've actually broke down, but there's been times where I've just pulled up and just turned everything off just to have a minute with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of shake it off, and then just carry on going. But I think I did it last year. Was one of them actually going through Glenshee, and it was just the first trip back out of all being cooped up.
Yeah,
and I think it was just a moment. I would not even one bit emotional at the time. Just remember coming around the corner and then realizing I were in the middle of all this amazing scenery, and I've been to many times before, but because it had been such a long time that I'd been there, it just hit me, and I'm like, whoa, where's that come from? And I really had like a moment of like, we've missed this. All of us have missed this so much.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah,
totally.
Great question. That's nice question. Thanks for that.
I find it hits me more. It hits me more in the edit. So when I'm back sat at the computer and and you're piecing the things together, and especially once music just seems to have a really big impact on me. And once all that comes together, if it makes me go, whoa, if it has an impact, I'm like, yes, this is going to be good. And then you put it out and no one notices it, and you're like, shit, you're all heartless. No, but I think that's when it gets me, is probably afterwards, once I'm sat there and piecing everything together, and you've got all the different emotions coming in. He's got a second question. Question 2: when you coming on our show? Keep up the good work. Have you been on the Average Biker Lads?
No, I haven't.
There you go, Darren. Send him a message, mate.
Yeah. Do. Please do.
Good bunch of boys. Real good bunch of boys.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Scottish, so you might struggle. You might struggle to understand them. Right, next one. Mark Paskin again. Are there any countries or particular routes that are on your bucket list still to be ticked off?
Oh, there's loads. I get
Pull up a chair, Mark. Pull up a chair.
Yeah. I mean, the list just goes on and on, doesn't it? There's a million places that too many to even suggest. Usual Australia, New Zealand, things like that. But the other thing for me, having a young daughter, I don't want to be away from home for like 2 months.
I get you.
We did the America trip when she was 6 months, so she was too young really to know. But that was horrible for me, because it was like, again, going back to the last comment, me being emotional. Especially since having Georgia, I'm terrible. But every day I just have to keep telling myself I'm in work mode. And then it was only at night that I was in bed that I'd be looking at my phone, like pining, and then, So if we didn't have G, I'd be all over the shop all the time. Dead, no question.
Wait till she's about 12, 13, mate, and then you'll happily just bugger off for about 4 years. Phone off, and away we go.
Let's redo this question in a few years' time.
Okay, right. So let's take family out of the equation. So you haven't got the emotional ties. Blank check. So you can go no matter what the cost is, wherever you're going. But this is your one trip. This is it. After that, there's no more. Where you going? What you're doing?
After that, there's no more. Don't even make me think. I'll be going to bed crying. Don't make me think that.
So this is just it. This is my only chance to go wherever this is and to do whatever it is you want to do. Bang. Where you going?
I can't. One thing I will say is, I'm more into dirt road and off-roading now than I've ever been.
Yeah.
You know, I just love it. You know, definitely New Zealand, definitely Australia, but you know, there's no point in me saying, have you ever heard of it? Because everybody has. Itchy Boots, some of the stuff she's doing and the places she's going, man, just, you know, completely in the sticks. This is me, completely in the sticks, you know, with a tent, dirt roads, you know, big fat chunky tires and a capable bike. I'm happy as a pig in shit.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
That's so many places in the world, man. There's, you know, that's every day for a lot of people. There's just people out there doing that sort of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Just do it. Do it.
I know. Again, fast forward, ask me the same question in 5 years' time. Yeah.
You could do it in chunks. You could do it in little chunks.
Yeah.
A week, 2 weeks at a time. There's plenty of people out there who are doing like world trips, but they do them in little chunks.
Yes.
And it's not even every year. Sometimes it's like, well, I can do it this year and I can't come back for another 3-4 years.
It's like a new chapter, isn't it? You know, you go to the next.
Yeah. There used to be a guy in the old Bill in the Met, where I was before, obviously. And that's what he was doing, is he had 2 weeks every year that his wife would say, right, that's your time. And he would just go off. It started because he wanted, I think, to ride across America, dirt roads, no tarmac. So that's all he was doing. He said 2 weeks, and he was just taking a chunk off every year. Yeah. And then I think he's carried it on, and he just picks another place. Right, I'll go there. And I don't think he ships a bike. I think he just gets there, hires a bike, and off he goes. Or you can buy a second hand one and then flog it at the end. That's what people used to do back in the day. So I'm sure you could still do stuff like that. But anyway, you know, I appreciate it's not always impractical. It's not always practical, is it? Especially when you've got about 18 jobs like you've got and family. Right, next one. Steve Preston. Hi, Rich. When will you be showing us the next cowboy tour video? Bruce, any thoughts about BMW off-road skills course in Wales? Right, cowboy tour video. You were just chatting about that earlier, weren't you?
Yeah, that's just answered that question, yeah. So I'm working on it today. So hopefully, well, I don't think... For the first time, I'm not going to have a video ready for Sunday because I've just not been able to. This edit is just so slow.
Yeah,
I'm nowhere near where I want it to be. So unless something magic happens tomorrow, it'll not be ready in time. But that'll be probably the next video coming. Will be the next Toro. I mean, I know we've both been to Toro several times. We've done several videos down there, but what an amazing trip!
It's great fun, isn't it?
And you know, because I've left it alone for a year. To deal with everything else and not produce this video, I've kind of forgot what we did. So I'm editing it now, and I've been laughing my tits off in that office today. Honestly, some of the things we did. So yeah, that's definitely coming next, and it's bloody funny as well.
I did a little trip out there, the one that we were all supposed to do November time, wasn't it?
I was gutted I couldn't make that.
Yeah, I did it with Pete English and Sean, Likeable Rider.
Sean, yeah.
And I did. He's a lovely fella. I did a couple of vids around that, but I was getting not criticism, but people were like, you know, I really fancied doing that, but I've been to the website, I had a look, and the prices are sky high. And he has had to put his prices up. You know, there's no getting away from it, folks. It's a big chunk of change to go.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you can afford it, it is well worth it because it is a shit ton of fun. But I know it's a lot of money.
Yeah, but again, you know, we're not trying to sell this or anything like that, but it is just it's a brilliant trip. But of course, it's an expensive trip. You know, you're flying down there, you're riding brand new bikes, so you know it's never going to be cheap. But having said that, it's a drop in the ocean for what I did in September to Iceland. Oh my God. I mean, you know,
this is with Case. This is a Case thing. Case.
So that trip. I mean, Iceland's mega expensive, but I had a guy message me to say, "Oh, I'm loving your Iceland trip. If you don't mind, how much was it? Because I'd love to do something like that with my dad. £6,500 each per person. Yeah. So, you know, when you think of that, which is incredible. That is once in a lifetime because, you know, you can't go shelling that kind of money. You know, nobody can, you know, just regularly kind of thing.
You have met TMF, haven't you?
Toro is a drop in the ocean compared to that, but Toro is so much fun.
Yeah, it is a good giggle. Absolutely, it's a good giggle. Steve, off-road skills in Wales. Yes, 100%. I'll be up for doing it. It's been sort of offered, do you fancy doing this since about 2017? But nothing's ever happened. It's never come through. But I would absolutely love to give it a bash.
Are you coming round to that a bit now, Bruce?
What, off-road?
Yeah, because I know you used to hate it, but
I don't hate it. I play on it. You know, it makes me chuckle that people are like, "Oh, you hate off-road," and I'm like, I've been around the world. You know, it's like you have to do some stuff off-road. I'm not very good at it, and if given the choice, I would always go tarmac if I could, because I prefer tarmac, and I feel like I've got more skills. I'm just happier on tarmac.
So it's just
I do enjoy it. Yeah, and I'm doing more of it now, and I did that thing away with Phoenix off-road trails in Salisbury playing, and that was on chalk in the wet, so you're not going to get much slidier than any of that.
No,
and I genuinely enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. So I'm off out with them again at some point this year.
Oh, cool.
And I'm doing some other stuff.
Go down there, actually. It looks pretty good down there.
It's great fun.
Yeah.
I was just talking to you. Let's not make it public. But what I was chatting to you and Fish about for the next big little, 100% we need to get on that, because that's going to be massive. So that is something we need to sort.
Yeah, we do keep getting badgered about that. So
yes,
we definitely need to do that.
I'm looking at doing that myself anyway, on a bigger form. Maybe you might want to join me in that. I don't know, but we can chat about that off camera.
Okay,
because I think that when the floodgates open, it's going to be a flood down there. You know, it's going to be like NC 500, isn't it? So, Anyway, right. Cheers for that one, Steve. Next one, Chris in Dubai. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you both for all your nice videos. Absolute pleasure. Possibly been asked before, any plans for some more co-op projects? Ah, well, yes, there are. We are constantly in our own little WhatsApp group with me, you, Chops, and TMF. We're always chatting about, like what's the next collab thing that we do.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but we've just not nailed it yet, have we? We've not come up with an idea.
Do you know what I've realised is, when you're thinking like, I've got this trip, that trip, the weekend, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
The year is not long enough, is it?
God, no.
It's just never long. It's not long enough.
No.
When people think, "Oh God, this year's gone quick," and I think, there's so many things I want to do, and you just think, "Oh yeah, it's plenty of time." I look in my diary. Well, I can't do it then. Can't do it then. Can't do it then. Can't do it. No time left.
Yeah.
So the precious, really. To be able to all get together to be able to do one of these trips, because we're all busy in our own right. So to be able to get us all together on a weekend or whatever it is hard to make it line up. But when it does, it's brilliant.
It'll be good when we do it.
Big Little that we did were just bloody brilliant. Again,
that was a scream, wasn't it?
We've never laughed so much.
Brilliant. I loved it. I loved it. I can't wait for the next one. I have been badgering these two. I am the one that comes up with what they think are ridiculous ideas, but in my head, I'm like, let's do it. And I've been trying to get them to go to the Nürburgring for about the last 2 years on 125s, and none of them will have it. Yeah,
I've just been going, nope.
Yeah,
nope.
I'm like, a day to get there, do a lap of the Nürburgring, day to get back. Job done. Let's do it. Like, nope. And I said, right, we'll ride there. You can watch and film, and I will go around. No, we're not doing it. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll go anyway. I'll go myself. And I've not done it yet.
Grumpy by yourself.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. It'll be one of them. It'll just be one of them where I'll be like, fuck it, I'm going, and I'll just head to Folkestone and go. But yeah,
going back to that Big Little, when we'd set that up, because it came about fairly quick. When we thought, go on, let's do it. Yeah. It came around really quick. Genuinely, when I stood at the departure lounge waiting for you two, I just thought this is going to be stupid. Honestly, I thought this is going to be stupid. Got them nice digs sorted, but I thought this is going to be rubbish, and it was amazing.
Awesome, wasn't it? It was so needed as well, wasn't it? It was so needed that we needed it because it was right. Was it? It was like at one of the breaks in lockdown, wasn't it?
That's
during
it.
COVID.
Because if you remember, the digs we were at, we had to get a taxi up to the pub for the meal.
Well, that's right.
And we still had to walk around with a mask on while you were in the pub. If you remember the taxi. Oh, sorry, we didn't pay you. How much do we owe you? Oh, sort it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What? Just pay me
Like
tomorrow.
idea. Yeah, because Fish was just, Fish is Mr. Fish is a proper London boy, wasn't he? And he was just like, what? We'll just do a runner. Well, I ain't paying him. Nah, he wasn't. He was going to pay it. But he couldn't believe what people were like up there, was he?
She didn't know. She didn't know who we were. She just said,
into pub.
Just pay me tomorrow. We do it all the time. I'm just, hey, when you're going into the petrol stations, we've all got the intercoms on, you can hear him. Hey, I'm just on tip bikes. Like, Fish, what are you saying?
Into number 2, please.
What a lovely man.
We've got to do that again.
Yes, definitely.
Right, so that was Chris in Dubai. Cheers, Chris. Next one, Charlie Callard. How you doing, Charlie? Evening, gents. Hope you're both fitting well. We're well. Rich, as much as I love the big lad, is there going to be another series out on the Silver Lady?
Yes, I'm hoping to go to Croatia on it this year.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, because it's 10 years. If you're familiar with my original Croatia, that was 2013. Wow.
Jesus.
Unbelievable. So, 10-year anniversary. So, we're hoping to do it again this year.
Awesome. Is that with a wild lad?
I say hoping to, I don't like to ever say I'm doing it without it being cement. But at the moment, again, we're just all wrestling with dates because it's, what's working for one's not working for the other. So we've got to, somehow make it work.
Meant. So what are you going to do?
What are you going to say?
Are you like going to do the fastest route down there, or are you going to have a bit of a play over a few days to get down to Croatia and make it all part of the trip?
Yeah, it could be like a couple of weeks tour kind of thing. So, pulling all the, the big ones in all the way down, all the way back up, just to make it the best we can possibly make it,
Fantastic.
But, I feel like I'm ready for a big tour again, not just, as much as we all love Picos, that's going to Picos and enjoying it while you're there, then coming home. I want to tour, I want to tour again. I want to go to a different place and a different place and a different place and a different place. Yeah. So I feel like I'm really ready for that because I've missed it.
People hear me say that. I haven't been away on a proper bike trip in so long. People go, what are you talking about? You're like, you've got a tour business. And I'm like, yeah, but that's different. When you're going away with other people and you go to somewhere like this, you do the Scotland thing or you do Picos or whatever it is that you're doing, it's different to just, like, I haven't just headed off myself and just been away on a bike trip for me in so long. Like the last time I came close to that was, I think last year going down to Romania, where I spent, I think, 2 days riding down to
you branched off by yourself.
Yeah, so I met the party in Slovenia, so I had a couple of days just to get down there. And it was so good just to be back on just back with no plan. I had nothing booked, no route. All I knew is I'm heading there in Slovenia, so just point my nose that way and let's go and see what happens. And I loved it. I would love to just hit the road for a week.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just magic, and it is as nice as the other trips are. They're fantastic. I don't think I'm saying they're not because they're brilliant, but it's just totally different. It is totally different when you're doing it to exploring and you're going to a new place and then another new place and a new place. It's just it's fantastic. I get such a buzz off that. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Right, question for both. Which are better, battered chips or traditional? If you've never tried battered, next time you're in Devon, I'll take you out for a chip. Battered chips? Never heard of that. And I lived in Glasgow. They batter everything in Glasgow.
I've had a battered Mars bar, which is amazing, but no,
it's good.
Chips. Battered chips.
Right, Charlie, I'm coming to you, mate. Let's go. We'll do that. Right, I'm coming. Deadly serious, Charlie.
What's Charlie drinking when he wrote that?
Everything. Drain fluids. Right, Charlie, I'm coming to you for battered chips, mate. Mark Paskin. Is that Mark Paskin again? It's his third question. Good on you, Mark. I like your commitment.
Cheeky boy.
I visited Plitvice Lakes National Park.
Plitvice National Park.
Plitvice, all right. Yep. Lakes National Park a year after you. Is this in Croatia?
Yes.
In 2014.
Lakes.
Gotcha. On a normal family holiday, and the memory of this and the coastal roads has stayed with me ever since. I've often wondered about riding over on a bike and exploring. From what you remember from your trip nearly 10 years ago, how does this rate amongst other long rides that you have had? Should this be high up on my to-do list, or should I consider other places first?
Definitely high up on your to-do list. Croatia, there's something special about that place, and the coast road down from Split down to Dubrovnik is just beautiful, absolutely
stunning,
beautiful.
Isn't it?
And there's so many curvy, twisty roads all around that area.
Yeah.
But yeah, Plitvice, I remember that was if I remember correctly, that was our first night. I'm thinking of geography now. So from Slovenia, hitting Croatia, I'm pretty sure Plitvice would have been our first stop in Croatia. So our first digs campsite, and was it called the Bear Campsite or something? And I said, why is it called the Bear Campsite? Then realising that there's massive zoo barriers down the road because there's wild bears everywhere. I'm like, ah! In fact, you actually saw some, didn't you, in Slovenia?
We did, yeah. They were the old bears that, well, allegedly they're the old bears that once they get too old and the younger males will fight with them and they'd kill them just to assert their authority. So apparently this rescue place takes the old bears and puts them in, but it looks really depressing. It's like a little, it's like a shitty 1980s style zoo. Just they looked bored,
nice.
But yeah, I didn't like it. It's literally at the side of the road next to a petrol station. So I don't like this.
Yeah. But yeah, go back to that Plitvice and Croatia. Yeah, again, that was, to me, one of those moments where you realise you're a long way from home, and that's just so special, for me. And yeah, I remember being there at that campsite drinking, sun's going down. It was stunning, lovely and warm, drinking red wine, thinking this, you just can't get any better, can you? You can't get any better. You've just arrived on a little motorbike. I say little, you know what I mean? You've not had to charter a plane to get there. I mean, you've taken yourself there on a bike. Yeah. It's just amazing. It's amazing, and you must get that feeling more than anybody doing what you did on yours. To be able to say Japan and things like that must just be. I now go into my garage and see the Silver Lady and think, I see it sitting at the side of the Grand Canyon and things like that, and that knocks me for six. So, you must have it where you must go into your garage and just look at your bike and think, what?
Yeah. It is crazy.
Yeah.
It is great. It's crazy to think all that happened, and it happened, 10 years ago. Yeah. But I think I should sit and watch the series again, but I think I've seen a couple of little snippets since I did it, but I've never gone back and watched it all again. Like you say, it's all up there for sure. Yeah, I'm getting her back on the road this year as well, though. I've got a mate of mine who's a mechanic. I need to give him a bell actually, and he's gonna come over.
Is it running or anything? Or do you ever do anything? Do you ever start it? Do you ever do anything?
I haven't ridden it since I did the book launch back in, I think that was 2015, 2016, and that was I rode it there. That's the last time I rode it. So, the battery will be foobarred now. Yeah. But there was nothing wrong with it. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it back then. But I just stopped riding it, and that was that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'll look forward to seeing that then, pal. Definitely.
Yeah, I can't wait to get her back on the road. I want to get her back on the road and then do a trip on her again. That would be mega. Like you're doing on the VFR. Yeah. I would love to do something like that.
Let's do something together. Me on the Silver Lady and you on that.
How cool would that be?
It'd be very cool.
How cool would that be?
Very cool. We might just give birth to something there, pal.
Fuck, where are we going? Get on the bourbon. Right, get on the bourbon and let's get creative. Let's just, come on, let's do it.
I've still not popped the lid yet. Go on then.
Get a straw. Yes, good lad. Right. Okay, I'll crack. Excuse us, folks. We're just a way to get creative. What bourbon are you drinking?
Woodford at the moment. I've got Woodford Reserve and Buffalo Trace are my absolute favourite drink. Just give me a second.
I've got proper whiskey.
Oh, Tamnavulin, is it?
Tamnavulin, yeah.
Let me just nip and get some ginger ale.
What?
It's bourbon, man.
We'll talk amongst ourselves, folks. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea, isn't it? I'll get the beast back on the road. He's got the Silver Lady, and let's just hit the road somewhere. on 2 epic, iconic bikes. Where are we going to go? What are we going to do? Answers on a postcard, people. Right,
well,
Dickie.
This is the first bourbon that I've had since Christmas. So, special occasion and all that.
Well, this is the first whiskey I've had since Sam was on the podcast 2 weeks ago. Slange.
Cheers, my man. Cheers.
Right, that is definitely an idea.
Just 1 minute.
That warms the cockles.
Let me just remember how much I've missed that.
The last time I drank whiskey on this podcast, I woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning. My wife woke me up about 4 o'clock in the morning because I'd passed out on the couch with the dog downstairs.
Was that the one you did with Sam?
Sam, yeah, with Sam Vincent.
Was that about 7.5 hours?
Honestly, that's the longest one yet. 4 and a bit hours. And we didn't even finish Patreon. You know, like,
bloody hell.
He's going to have to come back on it for at least another one because there's so many more questions to get through. Right, we've given birth. We've definitely given birth. That is an epic idea.
Yeah.
It's got to be somewhere special.
I'm 100% up for that.
Do you know what? You know what's going through my head?
Slow down. Whoa.
No, do you know what's going through my head? Let's ride them. Let's ride them top to bottom of the Americas. Dead horse all the way to Ushuaia. Let's do it.
look at his eyes, everybody. Look at his eyes. Like,
yes, let's do it. See what I mean? Like this is where my brain works, folks. Dickie's thinking, maybe ride them John O'Groats to Land's End. No.
Not interested in that. No, going back to what I was saying before about having a 7-year-old.
Dead horse to Ushuaia, Dickie.
I would
dead horse to Ushuaia. Yeah,
that'd be special. Very.
What
very
a trip.
Let's do something a little bit smaller first.
No, piffle. Go big or go home. So I say.
But yes,
wow, that was one sip of whiskey.
That definitely needs revisiting. Definitely that idea. 100%.
Mongol Rally.
I can hear the cogs.
Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Let's go.
Tell you what, let's just put a pin in it for a minute and let's move on to the questions.
I can't think about anything else now. This is all I can think about. Wow, this is going to keep me up at night now. I'm going to be thinking about this.
It really will. I'll be getting messages off you at 3 o'clock in the morning. I've had an idea.
Constant, yeah. Just be like a list. It'll be like using that. What's it, Chat GTP or whatever it is. It'll just be like ding, 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 ding. Right, okay, let's come back to Earth. That was Mark Paskin, wasn't it? Yeah, so next one, SB97. Gents, you both rave about Scotland, no argument from me there, and the North Coast 500. When are either of you going to venture onto the northeast corner and try the Northeast 250? What, up in Grampian? I take it that's the one up in Grampian, in the northeast. Like, you know where you were at the left, through the Cairngorms?
Yeah.
Well, that chunk of Scotland, that's where I'm from. I'm from Mintlaw, which is right up in the corner there. I think I've heard about this. They've set up like a new NC 500, but they call it the Northeast 250. Yeah, because it's literally just where the bit of Scotland sticks out round like this. You got Inverness in there, and then Edinburgh down the bottom here. It's just all in this corner round like that.
Okay, I've never heard that.
It's good, but it's not got the wow factor like Western or Northern Scotland's got, you know. And
going back to, did he say that we both bang on about it? What were the beginning of it?
Yeah, you both rave about Scotland.
Rave about it, quite rightly so. I mean, what an amazing, beautiful place Scotland is. You know, it is so special, and I say that every time I go. You know, just to be able to, whether it's on my own or with other people, it's just you just feel, I don't know, something different when you're up there.
Yeah.
Like you, I don't know what it is, especially, you know, being on my own recently in all the snow. I think there were one bit where I pulled up and I decided I'm going to go and, I think I said, I'm going to go and see if the King's in residence. So I'm going to call up Balmoral. And that moment there, I was just sitting thinking, just look, there's nothing, no people, and just the most beautiful scenery, and you're just there, a tiny little speck of time by yourself at that moment. See, things like that get me, definitely. So other people just think, oh, it's just trees and whatever. I remember when we did our America trip, we stood at the top of Angeles Crest Highway, and I was having another moment. Angeles Crest Highway overlooking Los Angeles, and I got all the guys at the front so I could take a picture. And I'm just having this full-on moment, like, no one's speaking. I'm just looking over thinking, looking at my VFR, Los Angeles is there.
Yeah.
Just, real, like, soak it up. And I turn around, and Graham, that rides with us from Glasgow, he stood at the side of the road, bored out of his tea, out of his head, just stood there eating jelly babies, looking at the wall. There's those of us that can let it move you, and others are just like, it's just a road.
Yeah, whatever. Can we get moving now? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
No, I get you. He says, Bruce, it's a homecoming tour down memory lane for you. Yeah, it is actually. I was looking at that Northeast 250 fairly recently, actually. Yeah, I'm maybe doing it a disservice. I'm going to have to go up and do it now.
Yeah.
And have you heard of the Creef Cloverleaf? Have you heard of that?
No, I don't think I have.
That's another sort of biking route that somebody's plotted, sort of all around Perthshire around there. So I am going to have to go up and trial them on a. Yeah,
that's the other thing I'll say. Going back to the NC 500, Scotland is so much more than the NC 500. It's so much more. Don't just go up and do the NC 500. Just that's not Scotland, is it? It's a bit of it. It's a tiny piece of it. Yeah. You could just ride round for 2 weeks and never ever get bored.
Well, that series I've just finished from last year's Scotland tour, that was with Simon Weir. So I do my tours with Simon Weir now. So he's part of my chicken strips thing. So he sort of plots the route, and generally he'll lead, and then obviously I do all the filming and all that sort of stuff. So
he's a lovely guy.
He's a great guy, yeah. So when he said about Scotland, I thought it's just I should have known, because it's Simon. It's not going to be the NC 500, is it?
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, well, I would have done it a lot before, but you'll try and get yourself hyper for it. And I think it was a mixture of me not having been up there in so long on the bike anyway, and then the odd little gem that we started it off around Dumbartonshire and all those areas, off of Moffat and all there, and we did roads that I'd never been on before. And I was just like, shit, and I didn't realise this was here. So from the get-go, it had the wow factor for me. Yeah. Bearing in mind it's my home country, and it was like, oh, wow, this is going to be something special, this. And it was like that every day. There was bits that I'd never done before, mixed in with the old staples that you have to do,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, this is mega. I'm loving this. Yeah. He did a cracking job. Really good job.
That, on my, was it episode 1? 2, I can't remember, of the Hebrides thing, when I went up towards Moffat, and then I turned off towards the lake, there's 3 locks. Can't remember what it's called. But that was where the ladies were swimming.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember the name
never
of it.
knew of that. Never knew of that at all. And I was riding it thinking, what the hell? Never, all the times I've been up there, I've never even seen it. And it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's just, just a loop that you most people would just glance by.
It's the views, though, isn't it? When you take like the little single track roads off the beaten track, and it takes you up over the moors and up into the mountains, and then you kind of it puts you down over a mountain and into a glen. You start seeing the glens. Some of the views that you were getting with the snow lying there and the low sun. It's like, man, that is gorgeous. Just beautiful.
Definitely.
And you'll go back there in the summer and it'll look totally different. It'll be equally as impressive, but it'll look totally different, won't it? Because it'll all be green, the sun will be different.
Yeah, the only thing in the summer, though, you have to share it with other people.
Oh, yeah. It'll be full of camper vans, won't it? Yeah. Well,
the great unwashed.
That's us, actually. That's us. It's only 3 days. We'll be fine. Right, next one. Tony Hannum. Hi, guys. Hope you're both well. My question is to Rich. I've got an Africa Twin 2022, and I love it. I'm not the fastest rider in the world, as Bruce knows, but not the slowest. Thanks, Bruce. It's all right, Tony. No worries. But watching your videos when you're riding in the snow and off-road, when and off-road has make me ride more this. Oh, I think it should be has made me ride more this winter than I ever have before. Have you ever pushed your luck? Have you ever pushed your luck? Keep up the good work, both of you. So I think what he's trying to say is, have you ever? Well, you did, didn't you, in the Hebrides tour? Like,
yeah, without question, yeah. I've never.
When you get to that oh shit moment.
Yes, we all, really on every trip we go on's fairly dangerous. You've got to just be switched on with it all. But
yeah,
this one I definitely, without doubt, pushed my luck several times. So, like I said before, someone were looking after me because, again, during the edit, I'm just like, what? I'm even nervous myself editing it, and I'm not even riding it anymore. So yeah, I'm glad that you're riding more through winter. You can ride your bikes all year long. Tires make a massive difference, huge difference. And yeah, I definitely pushed my luck on this one, and thank goodness nothing happened.
What were the comments like? What have the comments been like? Have you had any negative comments?
Mate, the views have gone stupid, and the comments, there's probably thousands now. And I bet I've read every single one, and I bet we're talking like a 1% negative. Everything's just it's going down a storm. Everyone's loving it. But I've had the odd one saying like it's very irresponsible. The NH are already those that don't like the adventure world. Obviously you take a risk every single time you walk out your house. And I do like to, I'd never do anything. I'm about to say I'd never do anything stupid, but this was this is definitely on the borderline of being that. But if I thought for a second that I could be injured doing what I'm doing, I'd have stopped. I only carried on going every day because one, I knew I had to keep pushing on. I could have easily gone on the main roads, and if it had got to the point where this is totally stupid now, I would have, I'd have made different plans and I'd have gone somewhere else. In fact, on the way up, the reason I chose to carry on the trip, I was so close to postponing it because of the forecast. And again, before I set off, people from up that way were messaging me saying, you need to brace yourself because, this is going to be bad, really bad. And I just thought, well, once I'd made the decision that I am going to go, I was only going to go as far as I could get. I never set off from here thinking I'm getting all the way up there.
Yeah.
I thought I'm going to set off. If I get as far as Gretna, that's as far as I get. Then I'll make other plans.
Suck it and see.
Yeah, suck it and see, exactly. It just turned out that I was, a bit too headstrong and, made it happen.
But everybody's different though, aren't they? And everybody has a different tolerance level. Everyone has a different oh shit moment. Their oh shit-o-meter is different. It's calibrated differently for everyone, isn't it? And it can vary. It can vary for the same person. Like for me, something that might freak me out one day or in a certain situation, I could come back to 10 minutes later, an hour later, a week later, a year later.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, no, I'm going for this now. So it just depends on you, doesn't it, at that time?
Yeah, of course.
Everyone's different. I still get annoyed with comments, and I know I shouldn't, but I still get annoyed with comments when people try and judge you by their tolerances, their criteria, their right and wrong. And you're like, no, you can't. You can't do that. Everybody's different. Just
I'm
accept
me,
it for what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's me on the whiskey now. I'm ready to start glassing people. Right. Rebecca Christie. How you doing, Rebecca? Hi both. Hope you are enjoying your evening and the appropriate tipples are slipping down. Absolutely. Question for Richie. What was the name of the B&B you stayed at near Ullapool? It looked amazing.
Clacken Garden B&B. It was amazing and the people were lovely. Again, I arrived thinking the ferry's just only over there. The pictures all looked great. It said there's a recording studio for traveling musicians. I thought, oh my God, this is going to be the best place in the world for me.
Are you a musician?
I've got this cloud. I've got this cloud of bad weather that I'm thinking, oh God, they would, with me all the time. Like, I really don't know what's going to happen. But arrived there, a little bit nervous because of it all, and then realised that they're so lovely. And then I'm thinking, because it's just someone's house and it's set up like someone's house. It's not like you've not got guests areas, and so I'm thinking, I like my own company, but I'm also sociable, But
yeah, I'm
thinking, are we going to sit and eat together? I was the only guest there, so I'm like, am I going to sit and eat in the kitchen? Anyway, but no. There's the guest sitting room. It's only small, and I thought that was the actual living room, but they've got another part of the house. Massive telly in there, and they said, well, we'll set your table up there, and is there anything you'd like to watch on the telly? And I said, oh, don't know. I noticed that they got that new Elvis movie, the Baz Luhrmann thing. Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
No, I'm not.
My God, it's amazing! Amazing. Going back to the guys in the cave comment about me being emotional.
Two bikers in a cave. Average bikers in a cave. I was thinking of the podcast. Two bears. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. Sorry, right.
Sorry, I forgot your name there, gents. But so I'm sitting in this couple's living room, eating the curry that she just made me, watching this Elvis movie, and this, it got surround sound, and obviously the guy's a musician himself. The studio's massive, got 30 odd guitars in there, drums, pianos, everything, just amazing. So he says, obviously if you're watching a movie, you want the sound on properly. So the sound massive, I'm sat there eating me tea, watching this movie.
I'm not
nearly crying, sat in someone's living room. I'm like, what am I doing? But yeah, Clacton Garden bed and breakfast, and it's amazing. I would fully recommend it. And that's
Tell
the guy
Dickie sent you.
That's the guy that drove in front of me all the way to the porch to make sure I were all right.
Awesome. Really, do you still keep in touch with those folk?
Yeah, they've messaged a few times since. Yeah, and they've been watching the series, which is brilliant. I'm very pleased about that, because he says to me, all about. At the time, you don't really say, "Oh, hi there, I'm a YouTuber." Oh, I'm just rating, I'm passing through kind of thing. We got talking about guitars and all that kind of stuff. And there's a guest book, and to write your experiences. So I wrote a little thing in the guest book saying, "I'll never forget this trip because of the weather, blah blah blah. I'm the guy that came on the bike in the this deep snow." And
check out my channel, like and subscribe.
No, I put in brackets at the bottom the YouTube channel. Not to visit, but I just put it in there just in case whoever's reading it wants to have a look. And they've obviously found it from that, and then since been watching, and he's like, "I had no idea you did this. You did all this kind of stuff while you stayed with us." I'm like, "Oh, but yeah, it's going down brilliant." So yeah, I'm very very chuffed, and yeah, nice. I would stand by that bed and breakfast all day long. It's brilliant.
Nice one. Rebecca's got another question for you both. If you had to choose one last epic country to ride in, where are we going and why? Well, what we're doing Dead Horse to Ushuaia, aren't we, Dickie? We're doing the whole American continent.
Yeah, let's just say yes. Yeah, if we can get sufficient funding for said trip.
No, we'll not chat about this on here. Yeah. Right, okay. I am still intrigued by this one. One country, one ride. That's it. This is the last one that you can do. Where are you going? And I've always said, when people have asked me a similar sort of question, I've always gone Spain just because it's got everything. But you know what? There's so many places out there that I still want to ride. And I think India's still massively high on my list. Mongolia is massively high on my list.
Yeah, Mongolia definitely is a good one.
Oh, I think I would have to go India. I think if it was just one last place that I could ride in, it would have to be India, just because I want to experience it. I want to do everything from the mountains to the cities. I want to do, the insane congestion, and then the total just barring nothing.
You deal with that all right, because when you used to commute into the Old Bill, I used to watch your videos then, seeing you filtering through traffic, heavy traffic every morning. Me being a country boy, no way. I cannot stand filter. I will, but I can't stand it. I really can't stand it. I'm uncomfortable. I get sweaty. I just don't like it. But, dark country lanes, no, I keep me on them all day long.
Like I very rarely I'm out on my bike at all anymore. I'm not getting the violin out, but I used to commute every single day. So I was in and out of London every single day, all weathers, all year. I had to go to the bike show. I popped along to the London bike show last weekend, I think it was. So it's weekend traffic. It's nothing major. But even that was like, holy crap, I used to do this every day. Oh my God.
Yeah, mate, honestly. So
it's just what you're used to, before,
I don't know how you can do it. I don't know how you can do it day in, day out. And you just answered it there. You're not used to it now and it's felt weird to you. So for someone that does not do it at all, to look at your videos, you're zipping through all this traffic. I'm like, oh my God, no way.
It's funny. I had Sam Vincent, Sam V Bikes. He was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he commutes in and out of London all the time on his KTM. And it's funny listening to him talk, because I remember being like that. It's almost like a TT. You almost time yourself, like how quick can I get in and out? And you do that, and then eventually some dickhead does a UE in front of you and knocks you off, and then it's like, I'm not invincible. Okay, right, okay. Yeah. Things start slowing you down again a wee bit. Well. Right, Rebecca says, keep up the good work, chaps. I'm losing out on sleep keeping up with your content. I need to find a way to retire. Thank you very much, Rebecca. Cheers. I'm glad you're both enjoying it. Louise Worsfold, evening both. Loving both channels in equal measure. That's very political. That's very diplomatic, that, Louise. Very diplomatic. My question is this. We are yet again gripped by war, and the nation has called you up to serve in the military, but in a role of your choice. What are you picking, why, and what do you bring to the fight? I'm not sure either of you would be suited to topless volleyball, so fighter pilot is out.
Well, you're saying we're not suited to topless volleyball.
He'd love it. He would be in it. He would be doing all that proper.
You've not seen my recent headshots on Instagram? And I've got a bone to pick with you. You insinuated that those photos are not me.
No, did I? Maybe, sorry about that, yeah. They're not as bad as TMF's. You've seen some of Andy's ones. Good God. There's clubs in London that'll have them on the toilet wall, some of those pictures.
Oh, brilliant.
Right, military. You got to go to war. What branch are you joining and why? I think I'd just be a grunt. I was at fork in the road in my sort of early 20s where I was trying to make the decision, do I join the old bill or do I go in the army? And I'd applied to the Met, and the Met were just taking a ridiculous length of time. I was a white heterosexual male, so I was at the back of a very long queue. And I remember being in the Army Careers Office on the Strand in London, and I was literally in there chatting with a guy, trying to tell him that I wanted to join as a grunt, just as a soldier, infantry soldier. Yeah. And he was just basically saying, you're insane. Because I had a degree. I was 22, 23, something like that. He was like, no, you want to go in as an officer. And I'm like, no, I want to be at the coalface. I want to, He's just like, you're an idiot. You're wasted. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But I think I would probably go infantry. I've just army infantry. I think. I don't know. It's easy to say stood here, isn't it? Like
the military have. I'm a lover, not a fighter. The military have musicians to see them through, so that's what I'd do. I'd be there as If I had to, I'd be there as that. Yeah.
What would you play?
Probably piano.
Ding, ding.
Yeah.
Piano? There's not many marching bands with a piano in there, is it?
Not marching band, but they have like things, don't they?
I do concert halls and stuff, but I'm not going to go out and do ceremonies. Forget all that. It's cold, it's wet.
Marching band with a piano. Come on a big wheelbarrow.
Pushing it along like that.
Yeah, you could be the guy that pushes the big wheelbarrow and I'll sit on it with the piano and play it.
Oh, brilliant. Love it.
Questions go.
Good question. Cheers, Louise. We could spend hours on that one. That's one of the ones that would just send me off on all manner of tangents. But let's keep it. We'll keep it down the straight and narrow here. We're on, what are we? Almost 2 hours. Good God, that's ridiculous.
It's unbelievable how much time passes. When we're doing this. I mean, when was the last time we did it? It was a long time ago.
You got COVID. Oh no.
Oh yes.
Was that the last one we did it?
We did a group one when I was just coming down with it. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I remember watching.
Is that the last one we did?
Yeah, I think it is. No, jeez. Well, we did a live from Andy.
Live stream on Andy's.
For yours, it was. Yeah, I came down with COVID, and looking back at the beginning of the night, I was right as rain, and the end of it, I remember like sweating like mad, thinking, what's wrong with me? You know, that was in the space of what, 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then it went massively downhill for 3 weeks or whatever it was. But to be honest, I couldn't care less about it now. So even if you got it, I'd happily give you a kiss. As I said, I love it.
Right. I don't know what to say to that. Debbie Clegg. Hiya. How you doing, Debbie? Happy evening to you both. Really enjoying all the tour footage from you guys, by the way. Question to Richy Vida. Do you think you'll be able to talk Bruce into some green lading or off-roading on the precious GS? It'd be a great vid, especially in lovely Derbyshire. Happy chatting. Keep up the good work.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, there you go.
My problem.
You're the same as me, Bruce. You're the same as me. You've got the breaking strain of a wet paper bag. No, I'm not doing that. Shall we? Yeah, okay.
Okay, let's do it. My problem is that I don't actually own my bikes. I get them all on the tick. You know, I always buy them on finance, and my finance is due at the end of June this year.
Okay.
Now, obviously, the idea would just be to chuck it in and get a new one. But with this new GS hopefully coming out either end of this year, next year sometime, I'm probably going to have to extend the finance for a year. And in my head, I'm thinking, I cannot afford to spank this bike because it's effectively the down payment on the next one. And I'd be quite happy to do that if the bike was a year, 2 years old. But it's coming towards the end and it's still in pretty much pristine nick. Thanks to Super Shield Automotive, the ceramic coating. But I'm quite dubious about taking it off road now. But I do want to do it. I definitely do want to do it.
You're so close to the finish line, you don't want to.
Aye. Yeah. So if I can get a loaner, I'll take a loaner and we'll do it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Or if I can get the Jigsaw back on the road, I'll easily take the Jigsaw, do some green lining on it. No probs. No worries. No worry. I mean, it's knackered. It's battered. So it's what it's meant for.
It's not what it's made for, is it? It's not at all what it's made for.
It's a bike.
It's not made for green laning.
It's a bike. It's 2 wheels and an engine. It's done it. I mean, honestly,
it's done it. Yeah.
When people say to me, like that bike cannot go off road, I think about what I didn't capture on camera, and I remember one bit in Low. I remember dragging that bike over rockfall. You know when there's been like an avalanche of rock, and I literally took a run at this big pile of rock on the Jigsaw, like bang into the rock and wheel spun it up over the rocks and then literally laid it on its side on the fairing and just slid it down the other side. It was incredible what that bike went through. It was insane. But I didn't capture any of that on camera because I was absolutely knackered. It's like 90% humidity. I think I'd already shit myself twice and I'm wearing a leather suit and it's just like, I'm not filming. I just want to find the road. And I should have filmed all that.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Anyway. Simon Lewis, evening, Richie and Bruce. I take it you'll both be partaking in a wee dram or two this evening. Well, we've talked him into it now, Simon. Yes, absolutely. So if whiskey was the main meal, which whiskey are you having for a starter, main, and dessert? Well, you're a bourbon man, aren't you?
Yeah, bourbon. Bourbon's a chocolate biscuit.
At least you didn't call it whiskey. That's one thing, at least.
No,
it's not whiskey. It's pop. It's basically not fizzy pop. It's pop he's drinking.
The thing is, for me, I love a single malt, but I've got to be in the mood for it to sit and chill. Blah, blah, blah. Whereas bourbon, I can sit, and it sounds bad, but easily smash a bottle.
Yeah,
easily. But I just, it's been watered down with ginger ale, so. But for me, it's just the easiest drink, and I just love it. I'd love it, But if I'm having a single malt, I'd be, old fashioned, really, Glenmorangie, something along those lines.
Oh, yeah,
it's nice, smooth. Love it. I used to love Lagavulin, but then I realised that when you pop the lid off and it smells like you've been at a a beach barbecue fire pit.
It's strong, isn't it? It's really, really peaty, strong one, that Lagavulin.
Yeah, and I don't like it anymore because of that. I think I must have got smashed on it and then burped it for 3 days. You know, the smoke.
Yeah.
And then, but like for me, Glenmorangie is, one of me.
I like Highland Park. I really like this.
Highland Park, I forgot that. Yeah.
This is so easy to drink. Tam na Bhallin. It really is easy to drink. And I love Dalmore. I mean, it's expensive, but I love Dalmore. Dalmore's beautiful, I think. Really nice whiskey.
Mm. And you know the difference with a really nice one, don't you? And you know when you get a bit selfish and you're like, you got a whiskey drinker friend coming round. I'll not get that one out.
They won't appreciate that. They'll just smash that one.
Yeah. I've got some in the fun cupboard that I call it that I've not even opened yet, and some really expensive ones, and they just look too pretty to open. So I'll just sit on that for a bit.
We'll save that for when we get to Ushuaia, when the Dead Horse to Ushuaia run. All right, you're on.
But otherwise, I'd almost have bourbon for breakfast.
What's Buffalo Trace like? I've never tried it, and you're always going on about it.
Yeah, Buffalo's my favourite by far. Buffalo and Woodford, but I would always choose Buffalo over it first. That's what I'm asking for. If I ever go to a bar, I'm always asking for Buffalo and ginger. Always.
I've heard of. Sorry, go on.
It's actually not much different to Woodford, and Woodford's a very, very nice one. Very nice. But
I've heard a lot of the American podcasts like Rogan and a lot of them chatting about Buffalo Trace. Yeah, is it not? Is it not America's oldest bourbon? Bourbon.
I wouldn't know. But it would surprise me.
I think Buffalo Trace is the one they're talking about. That it's basically older than the country is itself. You know, it was around before the United States became the United States. It's one of those ones.
Yeah, I actually came across that at the country festival that I go to every year in London, the C2C festival. March is coming up next week. Is it not next week? 2-3 weeks. And they had a big Buffalo Trace stand. And the stand just looked really cool. And I like whiskey anyway. And I just thought, I'm going to have a glass of that. And it was Buffalo, and it was called a Buffalo Sour or something. I can't remember. But I just remember drinking it thinking, oh my God, that's amazing. But it's dangerous because it's like 15 quid a shot down there because of what it is. And honestly, I mean, last year, between me and you, last year's country festival, the tickets are bloody expensive anyway. And we're talking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think I spent about 750 quid on bourbon.
What? He was.
Thing is, it's like 15 quid a shot.
Is that a weekend?
15 quid a shot, and you're nailing them like in every, you're back at the bar in 15 minutes. And you're buying, you're in rounds kind of things. So it's just like
I'm going gee whiz, but you know what? The last time I was like social in London before I met the wife and settled down, when you're out with the boys on the piss, and in Glasgow during my uni days, like if you spent 30 quid was a big night out on the piss. If you spent 50, 60 quid, that was like an all day sesh and you've been at it. Well, that equivalent sesh in London, I remember coming to London, it was like 120, 150 quid. Well, 10 years ago, it was hitting 200 to 300 quid if you were having a full-on proper day, night, clubbing, both out on the piss. So I suppose you could easily do that now, couldn't you?
You, like I say, you're there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. This is on. This is on all day.
I love how we're justifying this. This is brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, it's not that expensive, really.
Not an alcoholic.
It was, every time I went to the, I'll have
I'll pay the mortgage.
With one of them,
can't eat, but you
scan your card, and I think every time I did, I'm going, oh.
Yeah. It's too easy now, isn't it? Bing, done. Yeah. Bing, done.
It's almost as if it's not real.
It's not real money.
Yeah, you're not getting your wallet out, are you? And just like you tap your phone now, don't you? That's it.
Apple Pay.
Amazing.
Fucking worst thing ever, isn't it? I'm on Amazon just like that. Bing. Oh, I need a new hard drive. How much is that? 400 quid. Yeah, bing, bing. Oh, what? How much have I just spent?
Talking about hard drives and things like that, don't you find this as well, that you can so easily justify buying the things that are very expensive, like hard drives and things for what we do, cameras, blah, blah, blah. You don't need another camera, but here's one that's 450 quid and it's blue, that kind of thing. And you're like, oh yeah, well, I need a blue one. But then, is that the new 11?
Just arrived today. I don't need it. I've got the 9. I've got the 10. I don't need it. It's just arrived. Amazon purchase. Don't know when. Hang on.
But then another drone.
Obviously, you've got to buy the Fly More bundle.
Oh, cool, yeah. What's that?
The DJI wireless mics. 2 of them.
Oh, cool.
Because obviously I do a lot of interviewing. I can justify I need these for doing interviews. Get good sound.
Yeah,
I mean,
but go to Sainsbury's and there's a loaf of bread there for, I don't even know how much bread. Let's say 67p.
How much?
I'm not spending 67p. I'll go 3 miles up the other way to that other shop because it's 30p cheaper.
Do you know what it was? Is I've just
look at me pretending I do the shopping.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I've just done my taxes, so I got my tax bill in, and I fucking hate that. It's January. I fucking hate January because you've got to give the tax man money, and you just think, you greedy bastard, I've worked hard for that, and you think I've already paid tax 5 times on that bit of on that bit of income. Why am I giving you more of it? So I paid the tax, and then I had a bit of money left, and I was just like, oh, I'm going to spend it. I'm going to spend it so you can't have it. It's like, buy that. And then it all comes in, you're like, oh no.
Look at old Moneybags here. Look, he's paid his tax bill, and he's got money left. Look at Moneybags here. Look.
Yeah, I know. Do you know the reason that is because I got bit badly last year, because last year was my first year on account. So you basically have to pay 200% of your tax. You've got to pay your tax plus the same again to build up that like year in lieu type thing. So last year I was fucked. It was struggling quite a few months last year. So I've chucked a lot aside just so that I don't fall short again this year.
Yeah.
So there was a wee bit left over from that tax sort of bucket that I had. I was like, right, okay, you're not having this. Let's get rid of it. I can put that on expenses. Gone. Yeah. So
I can't remember what the question was, but that definitely went on a.
It did, didn't it? What was the question? Simon Lewis, Evening Rich, whiskey main meal. Second question. Yes. Looks like this year's Wild Bad Weekender will be the biggest yet. Congratulations on its success. I hope to get to it this year. What's the biggest challenge in organising such events, and what's put the biggest smile on your face? All the best, Simon.
Thanks,
I don't know how you do this, mate. I don't know how you organise all that.
Well, again, it's in here, it's in my heart, and I love it. I love it to pieces. The biggest smile is, when you see everybody there, and everyone's having such a great time, and they're all like, hugging each other because they've had a drink, and that's just magic, and you're creating something special for people, and that's the whole point of it, But I'd say the biggest headache is just lining it all up. Really, there's a million things to do, and it's so stressful because you've got to make sure all these things stay lined up, because if they don't, you've got a lot of trouble on your hands. Last year's these things cost a bomb and all, and last year's weekender, the caterers really, really let me down. I chose to go with someone different because I just thought a change is always good. Went with someone different, cost an absolute fortune, and it was so bad. And I put an official complaint in afterwards, and it was so how they dealt with the complaint was like it was my fault. They deflected it completely and blamed everything on me. Like it was my fault. It was my fault that the food was cold. It was my fault that this happened and that happened. I'm like, what the hell are you on about? And I just thought, this is keeping me up at night, genuinely keeping me up at night. I couldn't sleep, so eating me up. And I just thought, I've got to draw a line under it and move on. Just forget. Because I wrote I was retaliating, wrote this big bloody email out, and I just thought, this is really affecting me. So I'm just going to delete it, draw a line under it. And the only thing I did wrong really was, pay them up front. Because if I'd have not paid them up front, they wouldn't have got any of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, you live and learn, don't you? And like I said, on one of the videos talking about this year's. We've changed everything food this time. But I think you've got to go through things like that to be able to learn from them, to be able to grow from it and make it better. Because otherwise, you just keep winging it. And, you can't afford to wing it when there's, that many people involved. And, but yeah, it's completely different this time. So all being well, it'll be a success. So
I'm sure it will be, mate. I'm sure it will. It's always a giggle. It's always a great laugh being there. When you're in the marquees and in the evenings, when you're in the marquees and everyone's on the beer. I always love that Friday because Saturday, I always take my foot. I always find I take my foot off the gas a little bit because I'm like, I've got to ride home tomorrow. Yeah, Friday is just like
Friday. Everyone's like,
yes, yeah. 4 o'clock in the morning, you're still in there.
This year as well.
Who wants a drink?
Were you there?
I wasn't there this year.
Not this year. Was it last year we gave the VFR away? The blue one?
Yeah, I wasn't there for that one. So anyway, I was there the year before, yeah.
So I think we got this VFR, to raise money for charity. Obviously, take expenses out of what the bike cost, servicing and all that kind of stuff. But the whole plan is to raise money for blood bikes or whichever charity you're going for. And this year, I bought an absolute beautiful 09 plate VFR. It's mint, 13,000 miles. It's absolutely stunning, and that's going to go to someone at the weekend.
Wow!
For a raffle ticket. So someone's going to. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. And full circle, the bike is those viewers that saw my Croatia trip in 2013. It's the white VFR off that series. He's been threatening to sell it ever since. He's never ridden it ever since. He bought it for that tour.
He's not ridden it ever since.
I think he's probably ridden it twice since. Never been anywhere.
Wow.
And every year he'll say, "Oh, I'm thinking of selling VFR. It's not fair to leave it. It's just been sat in his garage getting dust." And every year I've said, "Mate, I'll be able to shift that for you, no problem." And then he's like, "I can't sell it. I love it."
Yeah.
And then this year he did it again. He says, "Do you think you'll be able to?" I said, "Yeah, mate." And then I just thought, actually, I'm having it, and I'm going to give it as the Wildbad bike, And it's all been, it's fully serviced, fully ceramic coated, all paints corrected. It's absolutely, it's mint. It's like new. It's like a new bike. Like I say, 13,000 miles. So so chuffed for that this year.
All right,
it's got to be someone, at the weekender. It's never going to, whenever we do these things, it's never going to be available to anyone outside because it's it's like a loyalty thing. If you're spending your hard-earned money with me to come to the weekend, we've got to be able to look after you back. You know what I mean? So
how do people enter that then? How do people win it? Plug it.
Well, it'll only be drawn, and the raffle will start at the weekend. So we'll start the raffle on the Friday night, and it'll be drawn on the Saturday night. And someone will be taking it away. Wildbadweekender.com if you want to come to the weekender. Thank you very much, Bruce.
He got there eventually, didn't he, folks?
Yeah. I wanted but I wanted to make it clear that the raffle's not open yet, nor will it be. It's only at the weekender. So wildbadweekender.com. Head over there, get your tickets. It's a full weekend. We've got an amazing venue. Absolutely amazing, brand new venue. I can't quite believe we've got that venue actually, but we have, and it's just incredible. So I'm hoping for it to be the best one yet. But we've got everything covered this time. The food we've got. What we used to do is, I'd pay for all the for a vendor to be there at like 7 o'clock to feed everybody. Yeah. But when your numbers are starting to get up like that, no matter how you do it, you're going to have queues a mile long. Yeah. And that's what I hate, because you're having people at the back waiting. So now, I figured the best way of doing it is, because we've got the numbers, is to have several vendors there all weekend, serving all weekend. So, you've got fish and chips, you've got street food, you've got barbecue, so you can go and grab a burger or whatever you want. And choose to eat whenever you want to eat. Get your breakfast whenever you want, but just do whatever you want. So there's no queues. A bit like, when we went to the ABR festival. I remember
totally.
Around at that thinking there's 10,000 people here and there's no queues. What the hell? And it's because the vendors are there serving all the weekend. So
so there's no rush to get up and go and get.
There's no rush to get up. No, you can just go and win. So that's what we're doing. So it's just going to be open all weekend for everyone.
It's end of August, isn't it?
End of
right?
July.
End of July, sorry, beginning of August. I can't do it. What am I doing? I'm in Morocco. That's what it is. Yeah. I get back from Morocco. Myself and Pete, we're both Morocco. So we get back on the 30th of July.
Yeah, bugger. Yeah, that's the...
Can't do it.
It's that weekend anyway, yeah.
Right. Anyway, right, folks, get yourselves... I'll put some links down below, so get yourselves some tickets. Get there. No problem at all, man. No worries at all.
But yeah, I can't wait to be able to give that bike to someone for the price of a bloody raffle ticket. You know, it's going to make it'll be someone's pride and joy, and quite rightly so, because it's stunning.
A couple of years ago, wasn't last year, the year before, so it would have been 2021, I was there, and I think that's the first year you gave away a bike.
Yeah, hang on a sec, my fingers fell off. No, that was the blue VFR then. Oops.
Was that the blue one? It was a young lad that won it.
Young lad, that's it, yeah, and he's still got it.
And he was like shell-shocked. It was like, what, this is actually happening. Oh my God, right, I've got a bike. Yeah. That's there's no hidden secret things about it. If we call your name out, that is your bike for the price of a raffle ticket. You just need to insure it. I'll depending on where you live, I'll bring it to your house, because obviously you're not riding it away from there, because you've already turned up on a bike. So and it's yours to do with whatever you want. And I would love to think that someone would love it enough to go off touring on it and bring it to the weekend of the year after. It's absolutely mint. I can't stress. I'll have to send you some pictures so you can see it, but it's absolutely beautiful. I'm so chuffed. It is funny how, like, I was like the Pied Piper of, not really, actually I wasn't the Pied Piper of Jigsaws. It's weird. I never had that GSX-R following, but with the GS I do, and it's like, it's like I've become not the poster boy of GSs, but like a lot of my following all seem to get GSs now. So it's just sort of synonymous. It's GS, and you've always been the VFR guy as well.
Yeah.
Do you find people are moving across to Africa Twins?
Oh yeah, tons, yeah. I bet I've shifted 50 Africa Twins.
Yeah,
probably more. I don't know.
It's annoying, isn't it? Isn't it annoying?
Because it would be amazing if you got like
a commission.
Yeah.
I did a little post because
20 grand here, 20 grand there, 20 grand here, 20 grand there.
Yeah.
Pop.
1% commission on it. I'm fucking happy days. Yeah, all right. Just keep them ticking in. Thanks very much. Like I've had BMW salespeople who I've met. Like I've been away with Toro, for example, guy from Aberdeen. So I went to Toro to go away with Lyndon and do stuff, and there was another guy there who just happened to be there at the same time, who was a BMW salesman from Aberdeen. And he literally came up to me and shook my hand and said, I owe you at least a beer. I've sold so many bikes off the back of your channel.
Oh, brilliant.
Really? Thanks very much. But I've had that from so many different BMW like sales folk. And you're like, it's great to hear. But it's like,
it is.
BMW, come on. I don't even want money for it, but it's like, can I be included in something? That would be awesome, please.
Yeah.
Nah, nothing.
And and it's not, again, that's not that you're trying to sell anything. It's you're just sharing your love for it. And if you're, if you're talking about it, again, like this trip I've just done, I kept thanking the bike for looking after me.
Yeah.
And I just think, what an amazing machine to be able to, go and do and take all that abuse and just keep going. Come on, keep going. Let's go.
Quality speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
Like I get a lot of abuse because obviously with GSs, there's a lot of haters out there, and I totally get it. I was one, and I also totally accept you either like them or you don't like them. It's just it's one of those bikes, isn't it? I think with most bikes, you like that bike or you don't like that bike, whatever it is. But I just say to people, I genuinely love it. So for me, I'll just tell you what I think, and if you like that, take one out and see what you think.
Exactly.
It's like, and people go, you must get paid for that. You must get paid for it. You might, I fucking don't. It's just,
I wish.
I love it. I want to find.
I don't wish I got paid, because otherwise you would be saying
your integrity
like squirmy stuff about it.
Of course you would. Yeah. And people smell bullshit, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
The whiskey is kicked in here. But I'm at that stage now where I'm thinking, literally everyone has GSs. So I'm like, I want to find something else, and I know this new one's coming out.
Yeah.
And I know fine well when the new one comes out, I'll get my hands on it somehow. And if it's good, then fucking happy days. That is in my garage for sure. Providing I can afford it, that is in my garage. But I'm also like, I want to try something different. I want
scratch that itch kind of thing. Yeah.
But I'm not going KTM because people are all, if you're not GS, then you're KTM. It seems to be that way. It's like they're the two ones that shout the loudest. And
those memes that you were posting on Instagram last week, brilliant.
That all came from the Sam Vincent, Sam V Bikes podcast, and because he's flying.
Is this Sam Vincent that put diesel in his bike?
That's Sam Vincent. Yeah. That's a. So we started this.
Who does that? Who puts diesel in the bike?
Yeah, who does do that?
Did you have any comments from Pete English?
Oh God! Oh yeah, he did it, didn't he? He did it. I forgot. I totally forgot about that.
Let's move on.
No, let's not. Let's not. Yeah, like that meme thing almost got out of hand. Like, for about 2 or 3 days, it just escalated, and I was getting sent stuff on private DMs on Instagram, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I can't post that. Some I was posting thinking I'm probably tight roping down the line here, but other ones I was just like, whoa, no, that's funny, but that can't go out.
That's
I'm not posting that. Send it to Sam. Sam, post that. Nope.
Oh dear.
But yeah, that was funny.
It's good fun though.
Oh yeah, loved it. I even had I did one about BMW. So, that one I did a story about. I've been caught test riding the new GS. Someone's trying to blackmail me. Did you see that one at all? I did a story. I was out walking the dog, and I was just like, right, I've been working with BMW for the last few months, test riding the new GS. This
is you just filming.
This is me camera, just for a story on Instagram, and I was just like, someone's managed to get a picture of me out on it, and they're trying to blackmail me for money. Otherwise, they're going to release the pictures. So I thought, why not? Okay, I'll just give you the exclusive. So here you go. Here's the new GS, and it was a picture someone had sent me of like. It's like a big 2-wheel tractor with this big fat gnome guy with a big massive beard riding it. So I just posted that up, right? And then a little piece to camera after it going, I hope I fooled you, blah, 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 blah. By the way, BMW, when is this new GS coming out? And I tagged BMW and BMW UK and all that. BMW themselves, Germany, messaged me and just went, that's brilliant. I love it. And I was like, fuck me, Germans do have a sense of humour.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, nice one. But when is that GS coming out, BMW? Come on, when is it coming? Okay, right. Where was that? That was Simon Lewis, wasn't it? About 5 years ago, he asked that question. Cheers, Simon. Thank you very much for your question. God, mate, we're nowhere near the end of the bloody Patreon questions yet.
That's crazy.
It's 2 hours 15 we've been at this. Right. How long have you got, by the way?
Shall we do some short fire ones then?
Right.
Let's
okay.
see if we can get through.
There's a shed load on Instagram and Facebook as well. Right. Adam Shand. How you doing, Adam? Hi, both. Love the headshots. That face shouldn't be hidden behind a helmet. Rich, you often talk about taking the leap and going full time. How far away are you from that now? Is it still the dream? Well, this isn't going to be a quick fire one. Yeah. Come on. Because you've got about 6 main jobs.
Well, not 6, but the things are different now. Yeah. Well, my last actual job was November. So, my day job. So I've been YouTube and editing ever since. This last week, I've pushed my diary off as long as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And now jobs are starting to, people are like, hello.
We need it done.
I've had to go back this week, and it's about killed me. So it's not. I'm not full time, but I don't think it's a million miles away. But we'll see. We'll see. Needs must, and I've got an extension to pay for somehow. So,
yeah. Like obviously, divulge as much as you feel comfortable with, but with your proper main, I hate using that word, with your main job.
Yeah.
We'll not go into details, but are you in a position where you can grow that, or you've grown that to a level where that can run quite comfortably in the background without you being there day to day, hands on, or not?
It could, but I'm me, and I like to be involved with everything, So I wouldn't feel comfortable being able to, move away to let someone else do it yet. So.
You're a control freak. I think you're like me, aren't you?
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm exactly you like things to be done right, don't you? You like things to be done right, and that's
I could really do with an editor.
If you care about it, then you gotta do it. I'm saying, but I'd never be able to let someone else edit for me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
No.
And, unless because again, like you'll film something and you yourself don't even know what it's going to be until you start editing.
Yeah.
And the edit makes it. So, like this, again, the Hebrides thing, I had no idea. I was just editing it like I do all my videos, and it's just struck a chord with people, and people, it's gone mad. But you never know, do you? You never know how it's going to go or what. And I think a different edit could have changed all that. But you just don't.
I think that's where maybe us and our particular niche within the motorcycle niche, which is small anyway, we are so different to, I'd probably suggest, the majority of YouTubers out there, because most YouTubers out there have a plan, they have a script, they know what they're going to, they have a plan for the vid, they know what the vid's going to be about, they know what they're going to say, whether they're reviewing something, whether they're, oh God, I don't know what it is. If it's a makeup thing, if it's a cookery thing, if it's a tech review thing, like you sit down and write the vid out, don't you? And you plan your shots that you're going to take.
Yeah.
Russ, it's all reactionary. So
yes, definitely, 100%.
As you say,
you put your camera on, you go out, and it happens.
And you finish that day with a whole bank of content, and within that content, there could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stories that you could tell. And it's down to you in the edit to figure out what is the story, what's the layout, what's the structure that creates the best final package, isn't it? And I think there's not a lot of YouTube niches that are like that I can think of anyway.
Yeah. Like you say, a lot of it's polished and rehearsed and not what we do, but the others, but I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could.
I couldn't have somebody edit the actual vid.
No.
I would pick fault with it, which would be ridiculous because it will probably be better than what I could produce, but I'll look at it and just be like, oh no,
yeah, but then you're paying for that as well, so because you're paying for it, you can't be unhappy about any of it, can you?
Yeah.
So if it's just your edit and it's completely on your head, then brilliant. If nobody notices that bit that took you 45 minutes to an hour to edit really clever bit in, if nobody notices it, then nobody notices it. But those few that do notice it make it all worthwhile.
See, when you get contacted by like an editor, I've had a couple of like DMs off of people who I respect as editors. They're not YouTubers, they're proper editors, and they're like, I saw that vid, this timestamp, I saw what you did. I love that. Good bit of effort.
Yes.
And you're just like,
that's a pat on your back.
Yeah. No one else will notice it, but they look at it and go, yeah, good bit of work that. And you're like, yes.
I do little things like that a lot. I'll put little bits in, knowing full well no one will ever see it.
Yeah.
It's nice when that odd person goes,
Totally.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so that was Rich going full-time from Adam. When are we going to see the next collab? Bike versus Planes 2 or Big Little Adventure 2 would be awesome. Take care both and keep up the good work. It's in the pipeline, Adam. It's just, as we've chatted about already, it's logistics, mate. It's coming up with that idea and getting everybody that's going to be involved with it available for a point in time when we can all go and do it. It will happen. It definitely will happen, but I couldn't tell you when as yet. But watch this space with Big Little. That's what I will say. To Bob Rocket, after watching Richie's awesome Hebridean tour and Bruce's Scotland tour and a number of distilleries bypassed, how long would a whiskey trail tour take with as many riders on Bruce's tour, and how many would go missing? It would be utter carnage. Carnage, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I've had quite a few people saying, could you do like a tour based around the whiskey distilleries? I'm like, well, no, because you'll get to a whiskey distillery, you'll do a tour, and you can't ride for the rest of that day.
Yeah.
And then if it's a good one, you ain't riding the next day. So it's like,
you ain't riding the next day.
You're not going to be on a bike till at least after lunch. And it's like, no. This is going to take a while. There are, especially now, there are so many distilleries in Scotland. They're popping up all over the place.
Yeah,
it's like the new gin, isn't it? They're everywhere. Okay, right. Lloyd Davies, one for both of you. Honda, BMW, or dare I say it, KTM? What for, Lloyd? What for? What is the bike? What are we going to be using the bike for? And, do you know, bugger it, I would still go BMW. If it had to be one, I'd go BMW, just because of the sort of package you get with it, the customer care.
Mm. Well, there's only one really that makes me tingle, and that's that. I don't know if this is what he means, but the Super Adventure R. Every time I see that, whether it's on a video or, there's some really like amazingly talented riders popping up on Instagram, riding Africa Twins and Super Adventure Rs and BMs. And you just look at it thinking, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
And you try your best to try and, replicate it somehow, spin your back end a bit. And it looks absolutely nothing like that, But yeah, that if I had spare dosh, I'd love that Super Adventure R, just to be the naughty one in the garage.
Like the best riding experience, hands down, is KTM. KTM is the one that's going to get your dangly bits going. Yeah. It's going to get the blood pumping. It's going to be the one that makes you turn around and look at it in the garage. Absolutely. Totally. If it's a bike to own, it's going to be Honda or BMW. For me, it would be BMW.
Yeah, it's weird that when, you say you look back and see it and it makes you like, when I did that Super Adventure R and they wheeled it out, even wheeling it out of the garage at KTM, I was like, it got me just looking at it like that. And then, I fell in love with it. What an amazing machine. But
it's the new Super Duke R. That's the one that does it for me. And that's probably the most unreliable out of a lot of them. But that bike, I remember riding that bike and it made me feel how I used to feel when I first started riding. When it's still new and you're just like, this cannot be legal. This is fucking amazing. Yeah. And I just loved it. I just loved that machine. And I still, if I could have one, I'd have one in the garage, but it couldn't be my only bike just because of, the issues I had with it and everyone else seems to have with it. So.
It'd be nice to be able to have an Asbo in your garage for those days when you feel like it.
Yeah.
But in reality, probably not. But yeah, I adore that Africa Twin. I do. And again, there's a bike that fits everybody.
Yeah, totally.
And some people gel with certain bikes, some people don't. It's not saying anything's less or whatever, but the Africa Twin for me just fits perfect. I feel like I can throw it round, happy as a piggy muck on it. Just love it to bits.
Your Africa Twin is me on the GS, isn't it? It's the bike that just does it all for you and you're happy with, exactly. And it just ticks all the boxes. Boom, off you go. Yeah, I get that. Totally get it. Right, Stu Lawton. Hi both. Hope everyone is well, warm and healthy. Getting better by the minute, Stu.
Are you having a top up there?
Oh God, yeah.
I'll have to join you. Not? I am now.
That's nearly half a bottle gone in 2 glasses.
Good.
That's all I'll say on that one. Slange.
Hang on.
You're still putting your fizzy pop into your fake whiskey, aren't you? God.
Fake whiskey. To be chocolate.
Finished? Do you want some chocolate fruit in that and a little umbrella? You all right, Slange?
Cheers, man.
Right, Stu Lawton. Hi, both. Hope everyone is well, warm and healthy. Yes, thank you. Hope you are too, Stu. A simple question for Dickie V. How much would you have to be paid to swap the Africa Twin for a GS?
I wouldn't swap it.
Would you not?
No, I wouldn't.
Really? Genuinely?
There's like at last year's weekender, because Gaz has swapped. He's got the GS now as well, and they were having a chat with a few people, and they were all going, "Come on, then when are you going to get one?" And we obviously have to have a bit of banter, don't you? And I'm like, look, the GS is a great bike. There's no doubt. I'm not arguing any bit of that at all. It just doesn't do it for me. The Africa Twin does. It's like what we were just saying exactly there,
Exactly what we just said.
Yeah. If it fits you, it fits you. And the Africa Twin for me is just an awesome bike. I love it to bits.
I get you. I see that. He's got a second question.
No money. Go on then.
Finally, if you were on a trip with the other three amigos, TMF, Teapot, and Lamb Chops, stopping over in a travel lodge with only 2 twin rooms available, who would you share your room with and why?
I'd share it with Andy. I'd share it with Andy because his backside's smoother than the other two.
You are taking your life in your hands. Do you know, like that?
Andy will be
that man is an utter deviant.
Andy will be like, Premier Inn, can I book 2 rooms, please?
Yeah. Straight on the phone right now. I tell people that about, because like TMF always comes up in conversation, doesn't he? Because
I love him. He's a great bro.
He's like the main man out of us lot. And people always say, he's just a little bit boring. He's a little bit beige. And I'm like, that is a persona that he's manufactured, that he's portrayed to get to where he is. But that is not Andy. I was like, Andy's the biggest fucking hoodlum out the lot of us. He's like a total animal. And people are like, what?
He's been very clever how he's built his channel and his, all success. That's there for a reason. He's worked bloody hard to do that and, create the model that he has. Off camera, that's not him. But had he have made the channel being real Andy, it probably wouldn't be as successful as it is now.
It would be too polarizing because wouldn't it? Because I think I'm probably guilty of that in that I'm probably a little bit too open about what I think and what I say at times. So that can polarize people, I think. I do get some bite back on a few things that I've said, and I get that. But, Andy's definitely gone for the middle of the ground, not the grey man, but he has gone that way specifically, hasn't he, to have as broad a reach as possible.
Yeah,
and it's worked. Absolutely, it's worked.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you ever get the opportunity to go on the beer with TMF, 100% do it, but don't bring your missus. Because she'll look at you and go, you are an animal. I can't believe you did that.
I was just going to tell a story. I was just going to tell a story from the ABR, but I'm not because I've realised it'll go completely wrong. People will take it. People will take it out of context and it'll go bad. Oh my God!
This year at the ABR is going to be so good, isn't it? We're all there, and all of us are doing the pub quiz, aren't we? and I'm last year. Was it last year or the year before? Last year, I wasn't drinking. I was literally there for the evening, the afternoon, and that was
flying visit, weren't it?
Yeah, I'm there all weekend now. So
brilliant, mate.
I will probably be naked on stage at some point. Mike Whiting. Hi, Richie and Bruce. As Richie will be starting his new career as 007, how does he feel about riding a Triumph for the next few years? My question, Richie, I think that was just a quick comment. Question, Richie, did you feel pressured to do content when you were on your snow adventure? Or with the Hebridean? Yeah, that's a good point.
No, I didn't. No pressure. Listen, I make the things I make because I want to make them. Didn't feel any pressure at all. I could have chosen to switch the cameras off because I was panicking. I didn't feel like I needed to, and I need to create this, I need to create that. I just basically, how I do my thing, I have internal power, external power for the camera. So I can afford to have the camera switched on and forget about it. So I'll leave it going all day long. So, and then I just go about my day.
What size memory card do you use for a day?
256.
And that does a full day?
8 hours. Solid.
Wow.
At 2.7K.
I see. I film at 4. Right. Okay.
It still does it at 4. 4K is exactly the same as 2.7 in terms of data usage. But it's, I think it's only when your frames per second go up that you take a chunk of your memory away.
What do you film at then? I film 50. At 60.
50 I film at.
I'm at 60. I get about 4 hours out of 256 gig.
At 4K?
At 4K 60 super view. Yeah. That's what it
have you got other settings changed? Like you Pro Tune maybe?
Yeah, I use Pro Tune. I bring EV down a little bit. I've done a wee video on it, folks, if you're interested. Yeah, I bring EV down minus 0.5. Yeah, although I think in the UK that can often be quite dark. So maybe for UK, probably keep that at 0, I think. But if you're on a nice bright day, you want to bring it down 0.5, don't you? Just to sort of stop it blowing.
It can give a really nice effect. That I have mine at minus 0.5.
Yeah.
But then a plug-in after the fact, and it is a bit dark, and you put a highlights and shadows plug-in on it and lift the shadows a bit. It gives a really nice effect. So it doesn't necessarily brighten it back up for exposure purposes, but it lightens the darks a lot. So it gives it a really weird.
So it puts like an inverse S type curve on it, does it? On the old
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And it just gives it a weird, like a really a weird ambient feel to it. But yeah, I find that does a good job.
That's interesting. Because
I film all the time, and so no, I felt no pressure. Basically, if I'd have come back with one episode, and that's the other thing. As I said before, you don't know, or I don't know when I'm filming. Even at the end of a day, at the end of this trip, I didn't know if I had one episode, if I had 6 episodes, 8 episodes. It was an 8-day trip, and I normally do morning to night on my episodes, morning to night. But this time, I decided to do it like a 2 days would make the episode. So during the episode, you get to see the nighttime, and then the next morning, and then so you just don't know. Like I said, I didn't know if I was going to have 6 episodes, 2 episodes, 1 episode, and I ended up with 4. And yeah, I decided I could have made 5 easily, but I decided to punch that last one into the, just a sign it off while it was at a high.
Yeah.
Rather than the journey home kind of thing, Yeah. So yeah, and I never feel any pressure to. The only thing I do feel pressure to sometimes is to keep on schedule, keeping videos going.
Yeah.
If you've got, I've got loads of content, loads of stuff in the computer, and then sometimes you just can't be arsed, If you must have it. Like some nights you just think, you know what, I'm not even turning it on tonight. I'm just going to sit and watch telly, and I'm going to enjoy a night off for a change because I never have it.
I think about that, but then when I do it, I'm sat there the whole time going, I've got this to do, I've got that to do.
Yeah,
so I can't chill out. I'm better off just being here and just doing it. Obviously you dynamics within a relationship, you recognize the times when you need to be spending time with your significant other, don't you? And you do that. But then other times when I'm like, I'm going to spend a bit of time with the missus downstairs. And you come downstairs and she's just sat watching shit on the telly or
straight back upstairs
on a phone or on a tablet or something. You're just like, hey, I could be doing loads of other stuff. See you later. Bang. Go and do some work. Yeah.
And you do feel there's a great feeling when you've finished an edit and you've set it to render and then you go to bed. Then you sleep so clearly because you know your work's done.
Yeah.
I
love that feeling.
Yeah, me too. And the opposite when you're either too knackered to finish it or sometimes like you get a bit lazy with the edit towards the end when you're too tired. And I just think, all right, all I do now, I save me progress, stop it, turn it off, and go to bed. Because otherwise, you just end up like the next morning. You look back at that last 10 minutes of edit, and you're like, "What the hell is that?
Yeah,
that's crap."
I spent 3 hours on that. What the heck is that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and your mind's got to be in the right place as well. Definitely.
Definitely.
And I think over the years, I've spent a lot of my time. A lot of my channel has been built through bourbon and red wine. Just sitting at the desk, editing all night. With a nice who am I joking? A nice bottle of red. And it's only been like I say, I've barely drunk anything since Christmas. So this has been my clearest edit that I've ever done. And it's turned out quite successful, so maybe that's what I should do.
Maybe that's a sign. I was thinking something when you were talking. I was thinking of something, and it's it's one of them. It's come in and it circled round the back of my head, and then just fucked off out the other ear. What was it? What was it? Alex, I can't remember. It'll come back to me. Mike's got a second question to both of us. If we lived on a totally flat planet, would you still be as keen to ride? God, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean...
Totally flat. There'd be no mountains to see.
Yeah, but you... Oh, okay. Do you know, I was taking a different line, as in flat Earth. All right, so it's totally flat, no mountains, nothing. Oh, yeah. So like you lived in Norfolk or something.
Hey, everybody from Norfolk.
Yeah. Hi.
Looking out of the window now going, he's bloody right, you know.
I've got a mountain. No, that's not a mountain. It's a good point. Yeah, because I would like to think. I like that feeling of being on a bike, of wind through, I was going to say the hair, through the beard. I just like that feeling of motion, you know, and just that buzz you get. And you can get that on a totally flat track. You know, like if you go-karting, you can get it go-karting, can't you? Just on a flat circuit and off you go.
Yeah.
I love that feel. So yeah, I could absolutely be keen as mustard to ride.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah. Are you the same, I take it?
Yeah, well. Yeah. I couldn't not ride. I couldn't not ride.
That never even comes into my head. What would life be like if I didn't ride? Because it's just life, isn't it? It's just part of life.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not doing it now. Although I was late to it. I just can't imagine not having it in my life anymore.
It is a massive part of everything you do. Forgetting YouTube, but just the ride in itself. You know, we do a lot of it.
It's me
regularly.
It's just me. You know, like anyone that knows me, if you say my name, they go, "Oh, motorbikes." It's just it's me. So I can't imagine not having it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Must be nearly the end.
No,
nowhere near the end.
Nowhere near. Sean Jones. Hi, Richie and Bruce. I love sports tourers. I've had two VFR 800s and currently have a KTM Super Duke 1290 GT. Thinking of a change due to a couple of niggles with the KTM. The Kawasaki H2 SX SE. Is this the ultimate sports tourer or overpriced at 27.5 grand with the Acra and luggage? Is the Suzuki GSX S1000 GT a better choice at less than half the price? I could get a small adventure bike as well and have a go at off-roading. 100% Suzuki.
Yeah.
Totally. That bike.
Yeah. Not only is that bike great, but, you know, half the price and you've got more budget for something else to play on.
Totally.
And you know, I don't want to upset anybody, but...
Do it.
I rode it, the 1000, what was it called?
Kawasaki H2 SX SE.
Not for me.
Never ridden it.
Not for me. Fast, very, 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 very fast, but no, not for me.
And Alex Speed does nothing for me anymore.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
you know the
like that sort of speed.
Sports touring, you know, he's had adventure bikes, so he knows, but there's a thing about adventure bikes that, you know, even if you're not interested in going off-road, they're an amazing sports touring bike because they go like stink. The handle just as well as anything else. They're comfortable. You know, you get your visibility is so much better because you're straight and you're upright. So they're just an amazing. There's a reason that they're everywhere because they're bloody great.
Yeah,
you know, and that's even if you're not interested in off-road, you know, but you've got the luxury of being able to take yourself off, you know, on a dirt track if you want to, you know.
Yeah, I often find
they're brilliant.
I often find some of the biggest critics are those people that add value to top speed bikes and they're figures orientated. You know, like this bike's got it's got X amount of HP, or it's got this amount of torque, or it's this top speed. That means bugger all to me. I don't care about any of that. It's like, get me out on a normal road and let me ride within, you know, like I would say sub sort of 100 mile an hour.
Yeah.
let me ride within those specifications on normal roads, A roads, B roads, backcountry scratchers.
Yeah.
What's the bike that I really enjoy riding? And, almost to a T, is the adventure bikes are going to win all of that because they've got the low down grunt, they're comfortable, they soak up all the bumps and shit off of the crappy roads that we have.
Yeah, definitely.
The only one so far there's been two that have been a big surprise to me. Super Duke R to me was just that. To me was the all round bike. That bike would be in my garage if it wasn't as reliable as a paedophile in the playgroup. It's just not a bike to live with from what I know of it. Speaking with other people, they seem to have loads of issues. I had issues with it in the 2 weeks I had it. Mm-hmm. And the other one's the Goldwing.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
Fucking outstanding bike.
Absolutely outstanding. Yeah.
Never thought I would say that.
No, and those that have never ridden one, I mean, they do look like silly, big, lazy.
Should not do what they do.
No, and that's why I've led the weekender ride, the group ride, 2 times now on the newest model at the time, Goldwing, and it's just to show it off because no one really realizes how bloody quick. We were grass tracking on some of the last year's weekender run, and people were saying, "How the hell are you taking a Goldwing down there?" I'm like, "Well, it's just as agile as any other bike here." And it's just, quick if not quicker. They're amazing bikes, amazing.
The others that I would really like to try is I had the Triumph Rocket 3 a couple of years ago, but it was right over New Year, and I had it for 2 weeks, and for a week of the time I had it, there was so much ice on the road I couldn't get out. I literally took it out twice, and it was like -3, -4,
no.
And I just couldn't. I couldn't, and I was riding backcountry lanes around Kent where it's just icy and
greasy, crappy. Yeah,
I would love to take one out on like a proper, like a summer or spring ride, just to see what it's like. And I'd like to take out the Ducati Diavel. I'd like to take that out as well and see what that's like. Yeah, because I've had people away on tours with me, and like the Picos it's a German chap, Sasha. He's been away a few times with me on the Diavel around the Picos, and he's there. He's there and he's doing it, and you're like, fine.
Well, years ago, we used to see a guy used to ride with us on an old Goldwing, and we always used to say back then, bloody, between ourselves, like, bloody hell, he don't mess about on that. And then obviously you ride one yourself, and you realise that it's just a mega capable bike. Whack it in
so easy, isn't it?
Amazing, yeah, amazing bike, really.
It's probably because it weighs the same as Jupiter. It's just welded to the road, isn't it? You can lay the thing on its ear. But yeah, Sean, what you were saying about the Suzuki GSX-S, I would go as far. I said this in my review of the GT. I preferred the standard S1000. I preferred that to the GT. Yeah, I did. Genuinely did. The GT to me, because it was a sports tourer, having that in, is it A mode or C? Suzuki's A mode is the hooligan, isn't it? Or is that
yes,
C?
That's it. No, A.
Yeah. Having it in A mode,
you've got active. What's B? Oh, bloody hell. Active, something, and comfort.
Yeah.
What's B?
I can't remember. But B, if you have a pillion on the back, B just gives you that slightly less responsive throttle, and that's probably the one you're going to want to use. A was just really aggressive on the throttle.
It is very aggressive.
Really, it's almost. I never thought I would say it, but it's almost too aggressive. It's almost too fast.
It's very, very snappy. Yeah.
Whereas on the standard, the GSX S1000, I found A mode. I thought that bike. I was like, I'd have one of these in my garage. I loved it. I fucking loved that machine. And it's typical Suzuki. Right. You're getting a lot of bike.
Yes, you are
comparatively, definitely. And not a lot of money compared to what other machines are going for these days.
Same with this new V-Strom I've just ridden. The A, B, and the C. I was actually really comfortable just riding in C all the time. You've still got the same amount of power. It's just got a different curve how it gets to that.
Okay.
So again, A, super aggressive, but it's such a comfortable bike, and again, understated. But yeah, Suzuki, you do get a lot of bike for money, don't you? Definitely.
there is a lot of snobbery around the Suzuki brand, isn't there? It's almost like considered the council. It's like the council estate chav, isn't it? Out of all the brands, it's like Suzuki. No, I'm not. No. I'm going to go and buy the Mercedes. I'm going to go and get the BMW. I'm going to get the Ducati.
We were saying
you're getting a lot of bike for the money.
Any owner of the V-Strom in the past, they all love it. They all love it.
Absolutely.
Those that have never had it have that snobbery that you were just saying. Totally. But those that have got it are probably just laughing their heads off, going,
"You spent how much?
Just as capable as yours, and I've still got $5,000 in my pocket or whatever."
Do you know what? I've never ridden a V-Strom. I've never ridden one yet. No. I'd love to. But I've not ridden one yet.
Yeah, make sure you do. Try and get hold of either.
Yeah. I've got the 1050
or the 1050 DE, both great.
Yeah. I've got quite a nice established relationship now with Johns of Romford, and I hope I've not just thrown them in the shit pile for saying that. But they're quite happy for me to take out some of their bikes. So I'd love to take out the V-Strom, the new one when that comes out. Right, cheers for that one. Next one, Lee Vigor. Hello to you both. Hope you're well. Buddy says hi. How you doing, buddy? How you doing, Lee? Of course, his new videos are brilliant, aren't they? Have you seen his new vids when he's got Buddy dubbed over the top? I shared one the other day. I shared it, and it was a reel that he did, and I just said, if this doesn't make you smile, then nothing will. Was it the one about people screwing up curves? Screwing up his road, yeah, and Buddy's in there going, "Come on, you pussy." That's it. Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. That's the way to go, Lee. Like it, mate. Yeah, definitely. Question for both. With so many amazing adventures under your belts, what is still at the top of your bucket list? Dead Horse Ushuaia. We've started something here, haven't we? Definitely. Mickey. Or we could do Africa. Will you come and do Africa with me? They were very rude to me when I went there last time. Will you come with me, please? Someone told Jan. Yep, please. Can you stand in front, catch the machetes and the bullets? They didn't like me in Africa when I was there last time. No, yeah. Do you know what? Actually, yeah, Africa's on my list. Absolutely. I know it's not a country; it's a continent, but I want to go and I really want to go back and explore Africa and get the proper full African experience rather than what I had last time. Yeah, something completely different. That's not worrying, but you're way away from home and it's not necessarily safe. Or I'd definitely like to do something like that. Were you following? There's a lassie. A lady, a young lass, who's just ridden an electric motorbike around Africa. She's just ridden it down to South Africa. I think she's from Denmark or somewhere like that, or Germany. I've totally forgot it. I'll put it in the links down below. She's just finished it about maybe a month ago, but she rode an electric motorbike all the way down to South Africa. And I think she went down the West Coast route from what I remember, which is a tough route. That is the tough way to go. And at the moment, that's riding, long distance on electrics. Well, I think you've just about recovered, haven't you? Well, mate, that nearly killed me. But that's nothing compared to what she's just done. And then there's, Mark Travels. Do you know him on YouTube? German chap. He's set off about maybe a month ago now to ride around the world on an electric bike, and he's just crossed it. I think he's in Tunisia at the moment. So he's on his way. It's slightly different. He has his missus behind him in a support truck. They've got a Suzuki Jimny. So she's behind driving that, and he's riding his Zero electric motorbike. But this lassie that's just completed that trip on I think it's a Cake electric motorbike. So it's almost like one of these commuting bikes that you see, right. A little really small little wee thing. She's tiny. Yeah. She's like 5'2". She's nothing to her, but it has an interchangeable battery on it. So she's got a couple of these batteries that she can just rock up, take the battery out, charge them up, whack it in, and off she goes. But she has just done if you were to do that on a petrol bike, that would be an achievement to do what she's just done on an electric bike. And it would be an achievement to sound sexist. It would be an achievement to do it as a 6'3" bearded bloke. She's done it as a 5'2", dare I say it, at the risk of sounding chauvinist, a beautiful 5'2" single lassie on an electric motorbike, and she's gone all the way down West Africa.
Brilliant.
You know, the balls that takes to do that. Fair play. Yeah. Good on her.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that, definitely.
Yeah, I'll try and find it. I'll send you a link to our I think it's all on Instagram. I don't think she had a YouTube. She just documented it all in stories on.
Okay,
that's a shame. If it's stories, it'll all be gone. There must be another. She must have documented it somewhere else. But yeah, it was an incredible thing to follow. Okay, another one from Lee. I hear on the grapevine you're taking your trusty guitar to the ABR for a set or two. So what song are you going to perform together?
Together?
Well, us? No.
I don't even know what songs I'm going to play. But we can sort something out there.
No, mate, no, just no. I used to think I could sing, but I'm well aware I can't now. So no. Are you going to be up on the stage then? Are you doing a gig or two? Are you
doing something? Yeah. I don't know exactly what's happening yet, but yeah, they've roped me in.
Beautiful.
So yeah,
I can't wait for this. Happy days.
It'll be a good one, mate. Definitely. Yeah, we'll have have a good time.
I was really impressed with that last year. I did not expect it to be what it was. I genuinely thought to myself, they're going to take the soul out of the adventure scene. You know, but it was
everything
amazing.
About it, brilliant.
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know how they do it, but they make it feel like a close-knit adventure festival, but on a massive scale, and it works really good.
Crazy. Okay, is that people
there? Yeah. Lee says, much love, Lee and Buddy. Cheers, Lee. Thanks, Buddy. Cheers, mate. Neil Bicknell. How you doing, Neil? Neil came away with me to Scotland. Hi, both. No question, but just wanted to say thanks to both of you for your inspiration since I got back on a bike 3 years ago after 32 years. Loving the podcast, Bruce. I didn't know that, Neil. I didn't know you'd had a big break, mate. He's a lovely fella, Neil. Really nice chap. Rides a Triumph, but never mind, you know. Can't hold that against him. Demo Chevo. Come on in, Richie. Let's have a couple of verses of Tennessee whiskey. There's a guitar in the background there, Dickie.
Well, I could have done, no problem, but it's 10 o'clock and I don't want to be singing like Chris Stapleton at 10 o'clock at night when my little sweetheart's in bed. If we'd have come to that question 2 hours ago, I'd have done it.
Mate, have we been at this nearly 3 hours?
3 hours. Yeah. It's amazing. It's the easiest way to pass so much time. I can't believe this much time disappears. And all you're doing is chatting.
I thought we'd been battering through these questions. We've not even got to Instagram and Facebook yet.
Are we still on Patreon?
Yeah.
Wow.
We've got 2 more questions on Patreon. All right, we're not going to get. We can't let this drag on past like 3 hours or whatever. Right, MotoCAD was going to ask a question, but I'm not sure there will be enough time. I think a new time record may be set. Well, it would have been, but yeah. We can't do that. We can't do that. Not on this one. Robert Aitken. Hi both, hope you're well. Richie, going back to your American trip, I always wanted to ask you how you choose the lads that went with you. How many would you take next time? Cheers. P.S. See you on the 5th, Bruce. Got my wetsuit packed. Oh yeah, Robert's coming. I have the first of my Chicken Strips tours next month, March, and we're going to Luxembourg and some of the Black Forest in Germany.
Fantastic.
But have you seen the weather? He's a great guy. There has just been a weather warning for a massive snow dump at the end of next week, lasting about a week.
When do you go?
At the end of next week, 5th to the 8th, we head off.
Oh, man. It's your turn now, then.
It's bloody typical. Just typical. So we'll see what happens. So, how do you pick the people that come away with you on your wild bad stuff, and how many would you take?
When we first did the America thing, I'd originally said 10 people. Mm. I'm so glad that we kept it at 5 because, you know, it's doing something that big. You know, the amount of paperwork and everything that's involved and making sure everyone's safe. And it was stressful with 5. But, you know, we've made lifelong friends out of those guys. And it's weird, really, because it feels like we've been mates forever now. And I didn't even know. I don't think I knew any of them beforehand, apart from Egon, obviously. But yeah, we've been, you know, like proper mates ever since. And it's lovely. 'Cause, again, I always say, if you go off on a tour like that and you're discovering it all together, you're witnessing it all together and you're going through something very special together at the same time. So never leaves, never leaves you. And you can probably not speak for a couple of months at a time and then just, pick up, where you left off. And so there were no strict rules to follow or anything. In fact, there was one of the rules was, this is going to be a very, very, very big tour. It's not going to be easy at all. There's going to be some proper miles. So, please only apply at the time. This is when we put like an application out. Please only apply if you think this is you, kind of thing. So all signed and sealed, all done. We met, rode down to Gatwick Airport. The bikes had all gone into the cargo area. We'd all checked into the hotel rooms. And then, meeting at the bar for beginning of an amazing trip, drinks kind of thing. And one of the guys said, so we're sitting around having, I'm cheersing everybody, so excited. And one of the guys says, it's going to be interesting, this is, because I've never ridden on the other side of the road before, never been abroad before. And I'm like, and then he said, and I have terrible arthritis in me left hand, clutch hand. But I have ridden some distances before. I've done like, I did 100 mile once in one go.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there thinking, oh no, this is gonna, oh no. And it was spot on, but there were no issues whatsoever. But I just remember sitting there thinking, why have you come on this trip? It's going to be like, 400 mile days and a lot of work, but it was brilliant. No issues at all.
Mate, I don't know. Did you ever see my second Morocco trip I did with Toro? When I took a group of people away.
Back in the day, it was ages ago now, wasn't it? And I think
I've taken it down now.
Yeah, what you was people hanging back or something.
Yeah.
Someone, yeah.
I think I took 5 or 6 people away with me to Morocco, sort of through Toro Adventure. But half of them, 3 of them, had never ever heard of me. They just literally Googled motorcycle Morocco, and Toro came up. So they booked. And the other sort of 3 followed my channel. So they got it through me. And I had the same thing. I had 2 lads who knew exactly what they were letting themselves in for, followed the channel, watched the vids, and knew what it was going to be like.
Not to expect.
Yeah, had watched the Recce series that I'd done with Lyndon and a couple other boys the year before, so they knew what was coming. And then one of the chaps who did follow the channel at that point, I don't think he does anymore, and the other 3 guys, no idea. And literally from the get-go, it was like, oh my God, this is going to be a struggle. And it was...
And you've got to, as the guide and the leader of it, you've got to be... It's your job to look after everybody.
Absolutely.
So you can't have a kink in the chain that's going to ruin it for everybody else, can you? So a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people realise that. Like again, the leader of it, the guide, the guy at the front. I don't like to say leader; it sounds a bit stupid, but the guy at the front. You're in charge of the pace. You're in charge of looking out for anything that can go wrong, or hazards. So it's a lot on your plate, and if someone's acting a little bit weird, you've still got to make sure that the other people are happy as well. It's not their
exactly.
He's not their issue, is it? So
you're monitoring the group dynamics, aren't you? But but it's like the drop off marker system. You've used it on yours, where there's over 300 bikes, and it works. It works brilliantly as long as
you listen to the instruction. Absolutely. It cannot go wrong. Yeah,
exactly.
But that's the main thing. And I always do this now when we do the brief, when we do the big weekender ride, I'll stress that over and over. Do not move until you see this back man who's dressed like Big Bird, so you can't miss him. Don't just drive off, because the second you do, you ruin it for everybody else behind you.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Even if you've been sat there for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, if you've not seen that back man, there's a reason you've not seen him. don't move.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what was it? Were people not listening then, or?
No, it's like, if you've got me at the front and I'm doing 60, 70 mile an hour, and then you've got the ones at the back who are doing 15, 20, you very, very quickly, you develop a massive, massive gap. And it was just like, I couldn't, as a guide, I couldn't, like these guys at the back were in their late 60s to mid 70s. I was like, I can't, you're in Morocco, we're in Morocco. It's hot, it's humid, you're in a strange place. I love Morocco. It's a fantastic place. But if you've never been there before, it can be quite intimidating, especially if you come into a town or a village or city, people are on you very quickly. People are hustling because they hustle. They know tourists. You stand out in line.
I'd love to do Morocco. That's definitely one that's on my list. I've still never been yet. So yeah, it's definitely on the list. Sorry, mate.
Which to me, as someone who's been and someone that knows you, sounds incredible. Just sounds insane because it's a ferry. It's a half-hour ferry from Toro. You ride an hour to the coast at Toro, and then you get a half-hour ferry, and you're there. It's like, you would love it. Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. I mean, it is so, and you like your off-road as well. It's so easy to do. It really is, and
everyone says that people are really nice, and
I've said this time and time again, and again, I've had a couple of people criticize me for saying it, but they all look like pantomime villains, like they're going to slit your throat, but they are the nicest people. They literally will give you the shirt off their back, the last bit of food that they have in their bowl, in their plate. They are just lovely people, and it's you are dipping your toe into life outside of our little European bubble that we have here, like the Western bubble.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because when you cross into Morocco, you have people living in mansions, you have people living lives like we live, but you also have people who stand in everything that they own. What they wear is their life. That is it. That's all the possessions they have.
Next to each other as well.
And they sleep at the side, like young lads, 15, 16 years of age, stand in what they own, and they sleep in that, and they hustle every single day to try and get money to buy food and to live. Yeah. And it's that sort of disparity, and it's a real sort of insight into what actually the world is about. What life is like for a lot of people. I just love the place.
I'd definitely love to. That's got to be on my list. Definitely, I love everything about culture and all that kind of stuff. So. Yeah, cool. I'd love to see him, witness that properly.
Right, dude, that is all the Patreon questions. That's 3 hours. That's incredible. That's insane.
Brilliant.
Do you have like another 20 minutes?
Yeah, let's go. 20 minutes, yeah.
So let's pick 2 random Instagram and 2 random Facebook. How's that?
Okay. Cool, yeah.
Is that okay? You okay with it?
We're talking 20 minutes, and we now think we're going to get through 4 questions.
Well, we're not, all right. But
how many did we answer on Patreon?
How many were there
20?
on Patreon?
20?
Let me have a little look here. I think there was...
Go on then, Mr. Maths, if that's 20 questions.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28 on Patreon. Wow. And that took us 3 hours. All right, do you want to do one? We'll do 1 Instagram, 1 Facebook.
Let's do 20 minutes, and we'll cut it at 20 minutes then.
Okay, right, you're on. I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, right, I will randomly scroll through. So I'm not looking. Oh, stop. Okay, Wild Ireland photos. Looking forward to this one. Questions to both. 1, what is it? Oh, it's one of these multiple questions. 1, what is it about us bikers that togging up in all the bike gear immediately causes the need to visit the loo?
Hey, there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than, especially when you're winter riding like me, just and you've got your.
Why, have you just done a trip in the winter, Richie? Have you?
So you've got your long johns on, you've got your Gore-Tex suit on, you've got your heated stuff on, you've got another jacket on, and then you need the toilet. It's like sometimes I think to myself, I'm not even going to go because it's too much hassle. I'll just wait.
It'll be warm anyway. Dumb and Dumber.
Let's go, man.
Yeah. Do you know, I'm terrible. Like the second I jump on a bike, within about 5-10 minutes, I need a pee.
Yeah.
I think it's just been old.
Yeah.
Okay, and he says, question 2, when are either of you coming back to Ireland?
Oh,
I've not done like Wild Atlantic Way or anything. The only thing I've done in Ireland.
Wild Atlantic.
Atlantic.
What's wrong with doing a Wild Atlantic Way trip on the VFR and the Butte?
There's nothing wrong with that at all, but it's not dead horse to Ushuaia, Dickie, is it? And we've already stated we're going to do that.
But yes, answer to your question, I'd love to come back. I'm just not. We haven't got any plans at the moment.
Yeah, I'm desperate to do. I'm desperate. That sounds weak as fuck. Because if I was desperate, I'd do it. I want to do Wild Atlantic. I genuinely do. But as we said, it's trying to find the time and get the spondoolies to go and do it.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah.
But it will happen. It's definitely something I want to do for sure. Okay, right. Next one from Instagram. So we'll go back to the start and let's scroll. Real Schwarty. Evening to you both. Hope you're all right. Question for Richie. You might not know this, but Bruce went around the world on his crotch rocket. He rarely speaks about it. I don't. If you had the time and money, what would you do? Would you do something like this? When you think about it right now, what route is forming itself in your head? Okay.
If I didn't have a family, a young family, I would head off and be gone for however long. I don't know which way, but I would. Again, going back to Itchy Boots, she's away. She's in such a good, fortunate place, and I don't mean that for any other reason than that she's on her own and that she can just travel. You got no young family to get back to, house to keep. I'm sure she has bills to pay. I don't mean that, but having the freedom just to be able to go and go and go and go and go.
I mean, fair play to Norley for doing what she's doing, but I don't understand why she's gained the traction that she's gained and she has the following that she's got, because there's literally
amazing
hundreds, if not thousands of people. Yeah. But there's like hundreds, if not thousands of people who have done what she's done or are currently doing it right now as we speak. And I mean, the content's great and it's awesome what she's doing, but there's just loads of people doing that. So I don't understand why she's...
Again, I suppose it's that...
gained the traction she's gained.
Not lottery ticket, but I guess it's like, the unsigned artist playing in a dive bar somewhere in Midwest and getting picked up by someone just happens to be in there, a big fat cat having a whiskey, and snaps you up and plucks you from obscurity. I guess it's that. It's just that moment in time where it just happens to be your time now. The stars have aligned. Bang, it's you.
But you can go back decades, and Elspeth Beard did this herself in the 70s. And you can go back and Jackie, oh, Jesus Christ. I've got Jackie, I'm so sorry. I've totally forgotten her surname. Oh, that's terrible. That's such a lovely woman. Forgotten her name. She's done it. Lois Price, she's done it herself, solo. Christ, who else is there? There's one on the moment. There's a couple at the moment who are out there currently riding around the world on her bike. She's doing it. Is it Kiga? She's doing it. There's loads of people out there doing it, and I don't understand why, like, Norley has attained the level she's got. What's different between her and everybody else? I don't understand. It's amazing. It's fantastic that she's getting the recognition. Don't get me wrong. I'm with it 100%. But I don't see what sets her aside from everyone else.
You know what we were saying before about not having time to watch anybody else because they're always editing, either creating or editing. Like Norley, she'll do like 1 million episodes, doesn't she? Like, episode 187 of a season kind of thing.
I don't know how she does that.
I don't watch any of her videos at all. I only watched, she did like a roundup movie of the last one at the end. So I sat, it was like an hour and a half movie. So I sat and watched that, which is kind of, I'm sure there's tons that got left out from the main series, but being able to watch it as a whole, as one feature length film, fantastic. And yeah, she gets some amazing footage. Doing all the drone stuff and wrestling the bike herself and all that kind of stuff. It's like you say, I know there's other people doing it, but maybe it's just struck a chord. And
it seems to have.
That just snowballs, doesn't it? And more people follow it because they've seen you follow it, and they followed it because of it.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, it took its own life. Took on its own
momentum.
Life. Yeah, definitely. So that must be it. But all credit to her because she's done amazingly well. Amazingly.
Yeah, absolutely fair play. Living the dream.
I don't think there's really any episodes that have got less than 1 million views, and that's just phenomenal.
And we know that is insane.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just
it might not sound anything. It might not sound anything to some people. Oh, is it hard to get 1 million views? I don't know. And then it's a big deal to get 1 million views.
Yeah, in every sense. Financially, logistically, that is a big thing to get that. Okay, right, let's move across. I'm sorry about that. To everybody else that's left messages on Instagram, I do apologise, but I'm sure you can appreciate with over 3 hours, we've kind of got to cut these down a wee bit. But you'll be back on again at another point, I'm sure, won't you, Dickie? So maybe we'll go the normal socials first the next time. We'll see. Well, I won't because Patreon pay my mortgage. So, Right, okay. This is over at Facebook. So this is Facebook /TeapotOne. Let's pick the first one.
I love how you're doing the, looking away for drama. I'm expecting a drum roll as well.
I might. No, I won't try that. It's too much like editing. I can't be asked for that on the podcast. Right, Paul Medcalf. I'd like to know if he models himself on Dennis Waterman, writes the theme tune, sings the theme tune to all of his videos. Yeah, 100%. Same as me, aren't you? Control freak.
Exactly. Yeah. Completely. Yeah. But yeah, I do write a lot of the music on mine, but not all of it.
You literally do the music on some of your vids, don't you?
I do literally do the music on some of my vids. Yeah. I said write a lot of the music. I don't write a lot of it. I write some of it. Yeah. But yeah, again, it's got to be right, hasn't it? And if you can't find the right piece that's going around in here, I can do it with ease.
I have a lot to thank you for. I've had a few whiskies, so I can let this out, Dickie. This is me getting emotional. About this time last year, I think it was. Yeah, start of last year, we'd come out of COVID, and I'd spent COVID really trying to grow my channel. I'd really been figures orientated, almost not obsessed, but I was looking at subs, I was looking at views, and I was just like, right, how can I win at this? I was looking at TMF, I was looking at Chops, I was looking at Moto Bob, and I was looking at all the views and username Kate and English Biker, all the new ones that were coming in and the established ones. And I was like, I'm just not getting the views that they're getting. And it's like, fuck, what am I going to do? And you said something to me, and I think it was on I think it was either on a podcast or a live stream that we'd done with TMF. I don't know. But you said, I don't bother with any of that. I'm just going to make the content I want to make. And it was like, it was an epiphany. It was like a light bulb moment with me. And I was just like, you're fucking right. Like you gather your community through creating the content you want to make.
Yeah. If people don't like it, then they'll go somewhere else. But those that do stay are there because they like what you do, and that's your that's your thing. So that's me. That's going back to that comment earlier. I can't remember who said it. Sorry about that. But someone said about do I feel pressure to make content, like especially on this recent trip? I don't feel pressure to make it. I'll go out and film, and I'll come back with what I come back with.
Yeah,
which might be absolute shit, and it might be good. You just don't know. Mm-hmm. But I'll make what I want to make, and that's it. But
like we'd all love 1 million subs, wouldn't we? We'd all love 100,000 subs just to get the plaque. Of course you would. Of course you would. But I'm definitely happier just creating the content I want to make rather than chasing that.
And that counts for
golden
a lot.
chalice.
That'll also alter your creativity.
Totally.
Because you're in the right frame of mind, you're creating what you want to create, makes you happier, which then makes your creative juices flow even more.
Totally.
If you're in a negative space, and I have this, with songwriting and things like that. If you're in a negative space with it, you can't do anything. It's just counterproductive. You can't. There's been so many videos that I've made and then just finished editing and just gone, that's shit, and just deleted it and just never seen the light of it. Yeah, loads.
Really?
Loads of it. Yep, loads. Well, then you just think, create the one that you want to make and, be the creator that you want to be. That's why, like the music thing, to me, that's been my life always, and it always will be, and it's nice to be able to incorporate a bit of the music into the other thing that I love, which is riding bikes and, making videos for people to enjoy. I just think, and I know it's not very good business-wise to think like that because you lack, but you really, I'd hate to be in a position of real success creating something I didn't want to create, because then you're trapped into it, then, aren't you?
Yeah. I have this.
Just one sec, Bruce. Her indoors has just text. Could just come up on the screen. She's put, I've gone to bed. I don't know what she put. It popped up on the iPad then. She put, I'm going to bed. I'm not coming in to say goodnight because I don't want to be on YouTube.
Fair. No night, Mrs. Vida. No night. No night. Mate, I'll not keep you too much longer. Yeah, I totally get that. It's like it's not a battle, but I'm very conscious that the trends come and go, don't they, on YouTube?
Yeah.
Like the new bike comes in, the new bit of kit comes in. You get that email about come to this, come to that.
Yeah. But
for me, I'm just like, I have this thing about just being like everyone else, and I'm not. I don't mean to be derogatory to anyone. I know you do the launches and stuff, and fair play to you. But in my head, I'm just like, I just don't want to do what everyone else is doing. Do you know what I mean?
I'm completely with you on that. I'm always the person that goes against the grain. I never want to be like anybody else. I never want to do what anybody else is doing. Yeah. And that's why, going to these launches, if I'm invited to and I can do it, I'm not the one. I'm never going to make a video that's going over all the statistics and I'll make that video exactly how I want to make it. And that's pretty much more like me being out there. I've looked what I've got up to.
Having a ride. Yeah.
Having a ride. Yeah. By the way, it was this and this and this, but I'm not going to reel off what you could read in a magazine, because what's the point? I don't get it. That's not me at all. But
I look at it and I go, well, you're doing it. Chops is doing it. You're going to create the same sort of videos as what I'm going to create. So I'm just like, no point. I'm not doing it. Just no. So I always find myself stepping away from all that sort of stuff. But it does harm you. It definitely, it did up until, I'm definitely finding tour vids this year. Tour vids seem to be doing really well.
Yeah.
And you are as well with Hebridean. And I don't know if that's because of the extreme nature of it. But, my Scotland tour's done fantastically well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Fantastically well.
That's the thing. Launches and things like that and product reviews and blah, blah, blah. There's a million of them. But, if you're going off on a tour, you're the one that's creating this tour. It's you that's leading it. It's you that's talking about it. You're going to this mountain because you want to go to this mountain. There's no one else telling you to. There's no one else. It's like the whole NC 500 thing. I was saying before, don't just stick to the NC 500 because there's so much more of Scotland to see. So take yourself off. Even though the sign says NC 500 right, take a left. Just take a left.
The road's less travelled.
Yeah, go and just see where you end up, because I guarantee it will be brilliant.
Absolutely.
Take yourself off and just do what you want to do. What's the point otherwise? Why follow the herd? Yeah. And why make something that you don't want to? Just because, it gets a few more numbers than the one that you do want to. And that's disheartening. For me, for instance, the music thing, who was I telling this to the other day? Chris Hatton, the bespoke joinery guy.
Yeah.
He got in touch and said he wanted to make me a guitar from scratch. So I went up and had a meeting with him. And what a lovely guy. And we were chatting. Yeah, went up and had a meeting with him. And this was a few weeks ago now. And anyway, we're chatting away. And we just got talking about YouTube and how things started and how you get on with stuff. And I said something to him that I don't think I've ever said to anybody else. And I started, when I first made my channel, it was for music, and then, I started making the odd bike video, and not really, I don't think anyone were doing it really at the time. I'm not saying I was the first or anything, but I'm saying it weren't really a thing. The only videos that were on their bikes at the time were people being knobheads, like 150 mile an hour through villages and stunts and,
the American motor vlogger scene originally.
Yeah. And then it used to be like, I used to put things on my videos saying, like, almost a bit embarrassed, if you're expecting any kind of stunt riding on here, you might want to go somewhere else because there's nothing like that with me. I'm just, I live in the countryside. I love my bike. I love riding through the countryside and I love taking pictures. I'm a creative guy and that's what I love doing. If you enjoy it, then brill, and it just got traction. But then I thought to myself, clever, thinking I'm going to build, this was right at the very beginning. People seem to enjoy this. I know what I can do. I'm going to build an audience for my music. So I'm going to build an audience to be able to, sell gigs. So I can put a gig on and get my audience there. And it never really worked like that. It just, the bike took off. The biking thing took off brill, and I love every second of it. But it started out with me as an idea to bring people in to sell albums and things. But the music videos never do anywhere near as well as the biking videos do.
Other than the one about boobs.
That's done really well. Show them to me.
Do you know, I think that's the first video I ever saw of yours. I genuinely do think it is. I think I was I think that took me to your American series. I think I was outside the Israeli ambassador's house in a bomb-proof box.
Wow.
And like watching my phone on the sly because we weren't allowed to, but everyone did. So I'm watching YouTube and that, show them to me thing came up and I thought, oh, this is good. And then it just naturally progressed onto one of your Americans. And then that took me onto the American series. And I was like, who's this geezer? And it went from there.
It is weird how things happen, because like I say, it had no intention of it taking this trajectory, if you like. It was supposed to be for music. And music, as I said to you before, has always been my first love, and that's why when we when we were all locked down and we couldn't do anything, that's why we couldn't ride. I had to still create. So I just thought,
I loved that daily series you did.
Yeah, I just thought, that's what I can do. So I will. So I just did one every single day it's weird now. And I think back, I think I did about 50 or 60 songs.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to think, like, how the hell did we have the time to do that? But that's all we did have. So.
Crazy time though, isn't it?
I know, crazy.
Right, dude, last question and then I'll set you free. Appreciate this 3.5 hours, mate. It's incredible.
Oh, mate, thank you very much for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, Jesus, mate. Thank you for showing us out. Sue Opie. How you doing, Sue?
Oh, bless her. Hi, Sue.
When are you guys going to get together with Mr. Fish again? Best fit ever. Cried with laughter watching the three of you. Well, we're doing Dead Horse to Ushuaia, aren't we, Dickie?
On 125s. That's the next season of Big Little.
It'll take all bloody year, that. We've tentatively spoken about it. We can't chat on camera about this yet, but we have tentatively, and I genuinely do think that
some cogs are turning, definitely.
I think that's a biggie for the next one. So cheers, Sue. Glad you enjoyed it.
Hope you both well,
right. Absolutely, yeah. Hope the both of you are good. That will do us. There's a whole load of questions on Instagram and Facebook, but we've done 3.5 hours, mate.
Exactly, yeah. It's a shame to leave the questions. Thank you very much to those that did leave questions. But yeah, as you can see, we're both rabbited quite a lot. 3.5 hours. That's crazy.
Absolutely. I really do. I appreciate everybody that leaves the questions every week for the podcast. I mean, you literally are the meat and two veg of the podcast. And I know some people on Instagram and Facebook say, what's the point of leaving because you never get to them? But, you know, we do. It's probably 50-50. And I really do appreciate you taking the time to leave the questions because it's all part of the podcast. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. Definitely. Dickie, I keep calling you Dickie. I'm sorry, mate. I've tainted you with that. Rich,
definitely have. No, mate. No, you don't change it now. I was genuinely hoping that would die off. It's not died off.
Chance. Not a chance.
It never will. So I think from here on out, I will be Dickie to you. That's it.
Dickie Vegas, absolutely. Right.
I love you for it, mate. I love you for it.
Dickie, I cannot believe it's been so long since we got together in person. Let's sort that out, mate. That's ridiculous.
Yes, definitely.
And let's sort that. But before we end the podcast, the table is yours. Plug whatever you want. Say whatever you want. Over to you.
Well, no, I don't need to plug anything. But I just want to say, thank you very much to everyone that's left comments and questions on Bruce's podcast. And it's been nice to chat, to get through them all. 20% of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. It means a lot. So thank you very much for leaving those questions, and thanks to all those that have left comments and views over on my channel for the Hebrides video. If you've not seen any of them, I'm sure Bruce will be very kind to drop a little link in the comments below. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Bruce.
I take it you've put the Hebridean tour into a playlist, have you?
Yes, it
right.
is, yeah.
I'll leave a link down below, folks, to his latest tour. Just check that out. It's a stunning cinematic effort, and it's a stunning just physical effort. So check it out. See what the man has done. It is incredible. If you're not already subscribed to Dickie, if you like what I do, you're going to love what he does. So make sure you do that.
Thank you very much.
Dickie, absolute pleasure. Sorry that I've forced you onto your false cheap whiskey. But
false cheap whiskey, oh dear. Might as well finish off with one, haven't we?
Absolutely. Don't put any of your fizzy pop in it. It's just a proper bloody bourbon.
You went all Cornish on me then.
I can probably do another bit of a podcast out of this bottle. All right. Slange, been an absolute pleasure, Chill.
Thank you very much. I'll see you soon, Bruce. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Right, folks, hope you've enjoyed this one. Apologies if we've not got to your question, but you will be back on, so make sure you post it up the next time. Folks, keep doing your thing. Look after those that you love. Get on out there whenever you can. But most importantly, live your life. Slange. Ooh-ha!